Go. Oh.
Hello. Welcome to the San Diego 40K podcast. I just woke up.
Yeah, you just did.
Woo!
Hey, look, Danny's back.
Hello.
From the grave.
Yeah.
That's right. I was
Speaking-
resurrected.
He was resurrected. And
I'm 1,000 son. No?
You don't have
Necron
Necron, maybe.
Necron, maybe?
came from the tomb.
Plague zombie.
Plague zombie from,
Yep. Danny the plague zombie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
I think Typhus is your friend.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he gave me herpes.
That's why.
Yep. What's on the agenda today, Mr. Justin?
So we're going to keep it kind of low-key and kind of casual today. So we're just going to be talking about the Chaos Codex, obviously, since that one is the new Prime thing out right now. Just going over, like, Danny plays Chaos, Kyle plays Chaos. So we'll see how, from the time that the book came out to playtesting and things like that, or just reading in general, what they think.
Hold on. This is for Brian. He wanted me to do this.
Okay.
Okay, so Danny plays Chaos. Kyle plays Chaos. You're welcome, Brian.
Really?
Yeah. He
Okay.
texted me this morning. He wanted me to do that.
Brian, you live in Minnesota.
Yeah, no.
That's all I got to say.
The middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah. So how's it up? The weather's up there. I don't know. I mean, right now it's like what, 80.
It must suck because he's right next to Canada,
Yeah.
our biggest state.
You mean our biggest hat?
That too.
I'm gonna get flamed
It
for
keeps
Canada.
nobody from invading.
You know what? If we have any Canadian... Who the fuck was gonna invade from the north?
I know, exactly.
There's no reason to.
Oh, we could go over the ocean, or we could invade the polar ice cap. That won't mess with our friends at all. No problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there'd be no resistance.
The only like thing that I know from invading the north comes from Fallout, and that was when the Chinese invaded through Alaska.
Well, if Canada wasn't there, then they'd have to invade Alaska and then go through another ocean.
Yeah.
So I think it will be just as hard
Yeah.
for them to get this.
So it's like you want to piss off two countries, but it's kind of hard to piss off a Canadian because they're really nice people.
Yeah.
They are.
Stop backpedaling.
They'd give them hot cocoa when their tank breaks down.
Their coffee is really good.
Oh yeah.
The coffee and the donuts. I've been in Canada.
At least we'll have a lot of time to prepare while they travel through Canada.
Yeah, seeing the sights, checking out like the other part of Niagara Falls.
They might even stop wanting to fight as soon as they get to America.
Yeah, but this is a Warhammer 40k podcast, and everyone wants to fight.
That is true.
That is true.
So,
Okay, so we're backpedaling. So again, Chaos Codex. George is going to be talking about some Tau Tacticas, maybe some wish listing, maybe in the future, what he wants to see changed later on. Talk about a couple events that's coming up. One that we're really interested in is our friend Shane's holding a big 40k tournament in December. Really cool concept. I think it's going to be really fun. I don't know how, with all the little tips and tricks that he put in there, how competitive it's going to be, but I think it's going to be fun regardless.
it's going to be a Shane tournament.
It's a Shane tournament,
It's going to be
so
a
we'll
successful
talk
14th
over-
Crusade, motherfuckers.
We'll talk about it when we
get to
into the podcast. And then it's been a little slow on the 40k front in case you guys didn't notice. So we might close up with some card game stuff or some
Ravnica is pretty awesome.
maybe some
It
new,
lured me
video
back
games that
into
are-
the cracked edition.
Yeah.
And then just like and then we might even touch on some video games that we've been playing lately or something like that. Some time vampire video games I've been playing a lot and not good, but still fun. All right, so start it off. Chaos.
Chaos.
All right. Hey, Danny, have you
Let's
played
go to
any
the
games with the new
Chaos player. No, I'm just kidding. What? No.
Played any games with new Chaos?
The last game I played was a 5th edition or 6th edition game with the 5th edition book.
All right, Kyle. So how's your Chaos Vassal testing been
Exactly.
going?
Oh yeah.
That's not really game testing either.
What?
What?
It sort of counts. I mean,
Sort of counts.
It's
We're,
top down.
we're on the same plane here. No,
See, it's just, yeah, this is just getting lower and lower.
Lower
Our
and lower.
our credibility is just going
Hold
downhill.
on, these fuckers aren't even playing 40k anymore. What kind of podcast is this?
It's like you're not even rolling dice.
I've
He's
actually
rolling virtual
over
dice.
the last 2 weeks, I've probably gotten like 12 games in, trying a lot of the new units.
Okay.
So, Forge Fiends, I find they actually are a little too expensive for.
Are
what
those
they do.
the shitty ones?
Yeah, those are the shooty ones.
Is
Yeah,
that
Forge
with
Fiends.
the plasma version or the
It's
shooty version? or
Either
both?
one.
Either one.
I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's cute. And why would you buy that?
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it is. Because if you go like the autocannon route, you're basically getting 8 shots, strength 8, with 4+ to hit.
Mhm.
But then you look at Havocs, where you can get 4 autocannons on the just 5 of them for 115 points, which is 60 points less than the Force Fiend.
And they hit on threes.
Yeah, they hit on 3, strength 7, so they're basically the same exact damage output, just slightly less
Punchy.
punchy against vehicles, but way cheaper.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing with plasma cannons, because you just have to walk up. Plus, any long-range shooting, any long-range anti-tank will just kill them outright. Like,
Yeah.
I ended up with the game against Tau, and I had 3 Forge Fiends, because I wanted to try a Dark Mechanicus list. 2 of the Forge Fiends died before I got to use them, because of the broadsides. So, I went 400
Yeah.
points, because I went plasma cannon route that game.
Yeah, you should've
Another
reserved
big
that
problem.
It's just... I just wanted to try and shoot, because he stole the initiative.
Oh well.
Oh, virtually
Okay.
stole it.
At-
Oh.
at
Yeah,
that
Oh,
point-
virtually
I
stole
can't
it.
hear anything. What?
Hold
Oh,
on.
did
I
the
got
mic
it.
cut
Just
out?
keep talking.
Oh,
It's still
snap.
recording.
Oh, the mic cut out.
It's just our mics.
Let's see other things. Noise Marines or like a Noise Marine focused list. I don't think it will work if you just go straight Noise Marines, because they're too specialized, because they're only really good against like
non-space marines.
yeah non-space Marines that are focusing on cover. Plus they're all static because they're salvo, which is what rapid fire used to be. So they have to remain stationary to get that 24-inch range, and if they do anything else, they're only 12-inch. So they probably won't get to shoot out a lot of stuff unless you put them in rhinos, which makes them they just start getting expensive before they
Mhm.
start doing things. And so they're gonna be. I think they'll be good if you use them as an elite choice instead of as your troop choice, where you take 1 or 2 to combat sitting in cover, but not as your core unit.
And the
Okay.
problem with the Forge Fiend is it's only 24 inches, so you have at least 2 turns of shooting to take before you can even shoot the thing.
The autocannon only has 24-inch range.
No, the plasma.
Yeah, the plasma
Okay,
cannon is
yeah,
just.
well,
But you don't buy it for the autocannon. That's just stupid. Because like he was saying, the Havocs
are
the
just
Havocs would be much
a
better.
steel.
So the plasma cannon one, which is it's a 200-point model at that point, then you have 2 turns of shooting that you have to go through before you even get to shoot it.
Is there any way to like push it forward faster, or is it kind of just
It
like
can run.
It's a walker.
so it can move 6 and run before it shoots. But
Yeah,
there's
it's-
no
it's-
extra things. You can't use the infiltration warlord trait on
Yeah,
it.
the 2 biggest things in the codex that I think people are actually going to overlook is the first one is the Mauler Fiend.
Oh yeah,
That is fucking incredible for 125 points for the Vindicator cost. That thing moves 12, it could charge 12, and it in terrain doesn't matter. So it could so in 1 turn it could go 24 inches and get you.
yep. And it's just great against everything. Great against vehicles. Great against infantry.
So that's one thing. And the other one that people are not going to take is Chaos Bikes. Which if you don't take Chaos Bikes, you're really stupid.
oh, I've been taking chaos bikes all the time.
Take 3
They are
Chaos
really
Bikes
good.
and it's 70 points. And each Chaos Bike after that's 20. And they still take the bolt pistol close combat weapon. So every model has 2 attacks. And with the buff that 6th edition gives it, you have the Jink and
Yep.
you have the Hammer
You
of
have
Wrath.
Jink, yeah, and you're tough 5, so you're insta death on strength 10 only.
yeah?
And you buy the Nurgle thing, which is only, 30 points in that unit?
It's 6 points per model.
So, well, yeah, even better. There you go. You take that, toughness 6 bikes.
Yep. And
Very, very cheap.
then you can take 2 Meltas and a Combi Melta on the Sergeant, so
Yep.
they're a great anti-tank unit. They're really versatile, they're really affordable, and they're really durable.
And
Can you make them into a troop choice?
No,
there's no way
unfortunately
you
you
can.
can't, but, fast attack scoring, plus just tarp it, the troop choice, kill
Yeah.
them with the bikes.
And one thing I noticed looking through the codex is with every point cost in the codex with the new Chaos always has to challenge. Everything that can take the gift of mutation is 10 points. You take it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So everything in the codex is 10 points more expensive in my eyes. So
Why?
because you get a roll in the beginning of the game on the
No,
boom.
I get that. Are the gifts that good? Why do you feel
It's
that's
good.
necessary?
It's good because if your guy's challenging anyway, you might as well give him some sort of advantage if you could.
Well, what if you don't expect to face any kind of close combat army?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you always have to challenge. You always have to accept. So it's there for 10 points. Everything got cheaper in the codex anyway.
I feel like that's a really good way to ignore the fact that everything in your codex got cheaper. Just personally.
Well, everything
I can
got
understand it. for
everything got a
s-
lot cheaper. So it's like it doesn't make a difference points wise when you add it up. Because the way
no,
that I
no, it
load,
does make a difference because everything's cheaper otherwise.
Well, the way that I loaded out my Chaos Marines before with the 10-man with the Melta Flamer and the Fist and the Rhino, it was 255. Now with all the upgrades plus the gifted mutation, it's 215. So it's way cheaper.
Right, but without the gift, it's 205.
Yeah.
And if you have 5 to 6 units of that, that's another 5, 6,
But
7
then when you
Marines.
run into something like, say, another tactical squad, like if you run into another Space Marine unit and your guy has 1 more strength, your guy would kill his sergeant easier.
Well, the
Well,
thing
we're
is, you have
strength or
no
better
idea what
armor
you're going to
saver.
draw. You have no idea what you're going to roll. I mean, I can understand it for units.
Yeah,
who
you don't
intend to move
you
forward.
never know what you're gonna roll, but it's a good
I
way to
mean,
get a mutation
I
without
understand.
having to get the spawn or the demon prince.
Yeah, because
On
the
the-
gift avoids the
Yeah.
spawn and
I
demon
mean,
prince. It
I
re-rolls it.
understand for units that are going to move forward, but I have no idea why you would waste your points on a Havoc Sergeant buying that.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
you
so,
don't
for
buy it
something
on
for
everything.
something like that, then yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. But like,
Like,
with
maybe-
something like bikes or maybe every Chaos Marine squad, Plague Marine squad, all those guys.
I think it's also a good idea to consider always taking a power sword on that sergeant because he has the challenge. So if you end up in a combat with another sergeant, if he has a power fist, you go first because you're only power sword. So
Yeah.
you'll kill him. You'll get the
And he
boon,
is
and you
the
won't
screwed.
die to the fist.
Yeah.
Another thing I really wanted to talk about though was the Demon Prince because I know when we were all looking at it before, we're all bad mouthing it. It was because it was way too expensive and doesn't even have Eternal Warrior. I've been having really good success with it, going balls out with point cost, just getting everything on it.
Are you running the flying demon?
Yeah,
prince?
I'm doing Flying Demon Prince, 3 mastery armor, also taking the Black Mace.
Oh my god,
And,
that's like a 300-point model.
And
It's
it's
340.
300. Well, I'm also doing Spell Familiar, so that because
Oh,
it's
shit.
Leadership 9 and I don't want barrels. So it's 355 points.
Is he like undivided or is he like?
He has to take a mark. So I generally have been doing Zinch
Okay.
because I want that rerollable ones for that
Mhm.
extra survivability. But also because depending on if the game's big enough, I'll take a sorcerer on an unmarked sorcerer on a bike and go telepathy and give it invisibility. That way, when it's flying, it can have 2+ cover save and reroll the ones.
Wow.
And
You have to get lucky and roll the invisibility.
well, yeah, but
And-
with 3 powers,
He's-
it's a solid chance, and then
yeah.
it's still a
that
3+
sorcerer is
cover
also
save.
going to be like what
Yeah.
140.
Doesn't he have to take a power from the
Yeah, it's a
Zinch thing?
130. It's
130.
130 with the bike.
Doesn't he have to take a Zinch power?
He does.
Yeah, the prince does. The sorcerer doesn't if he's unmarked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So the prince will take his each power, and then I'll go 2 in biomancy, hoping for that iron arms, because then I'll get eternal warrior.
Yeah.
But then the other biomancy powers are still really good too, such as warp speed or enfeeble,
Mm-hmm.
especially with black mace, because black mace is the one where it makes them all. If you cause an unsaved wound, all models within 3 inches take a toughness test, and if they fail it, they get removed from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you enfeeble the unit, they're -1 toughness. So that makes Marines tough 3, and then everything else like tough 2. So they're pretty much you can just get like it's a demon weapon too, so you get like 12 attacks. You
Yeah.
kill like 8 of them because it's 3+2+ with AP2
Yeah.
because you're a monstrous creature, and then you just wipe them all out because they all die to the Black Mace effect.
Yeah.
And like I've had amazing success. Like I've beaten Fate Weaver with this Demon Prince. I just charged him, got with 12
It's
attacks.
a strength test.
Toughness test.
Oh, it's a toughness test. Okay.
Hmm.
And then wiped out, like, against the Demon Army, wiped out the Fate Weaver and a whole unit of Screamers before he went down. I'm having really great luck. I think he's the sort of thing you have to go balls to the wall,
Yeah.
everything, just so that he's really expensive, but he does a lot for his points.
Yeah. Actually, let me see my rule book. I want to check out
Yeah,
some
he
stuff.
he does it's a good output for what you really want to do with it. But the problem with that is if you get like 1 turn of bad rolling, he's
Oh, yeah.
fucked.
Yeah,
And there goes 350 points. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a huge point investment, but from a demon player, I'm used to making those huge point investments for like greater demons like Bloodthirster or Fate Weaver. So it's the survivability is the only issue, but if you get lucky and get the invisibility or iron arms,
Yeah.
it's really easy to overlook, or it's easy to deal with.
Yeah, if you don't get those 2 powers, then
Yeah, but I've had a few games where I didn't, but I still worked out because I'm flying, so
Yeah.
they didn't shoot me down.
Then
and then I
the
got in
change
combat.
to weapon skill 9 I think is really huge too, because now everything in the game, unless you're a special character type, you're hitting him on 5s in
Yeah.
combat.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I think
Yeah.
I might try a new tactic with my Necrons.
What do you got?
So I took a look at Oh, sorry. Get closer to the mic. I took a look at the enfeeble felt. So it's -1 the strength and the toughness.
Yep.
So I was thinking of running it because you know how I've been running that stupid 3 monolith plus
Exile door.
Exile door.
gosh.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
goodness. Oh, that sounds
So you
It
can
just-
ally with the Necrons.
I can ally with some spellcasters. So
Can you
just
ally with Chaos?
They could ally with chaos. They're
Pick
convenient.
up a Chaos Sorcerer.
Put him on a bike, throw him in a bike unit.
Put him on a bike. Yeah,
Yeah.
throw him on a bike unit.
There's only 3 armies that chaos could ally with, and that's one of them. Necrons, Tau, and
Guard.
Demons.
Yeah.
Oh, good
No.
guard.
Guard. Yeah, guard.
Dude, that's so fucked up. I love it.
yeah, I might try that next week maybe. So
No.
we'll see.
Wow. I really like
I
that.
think one of the things. Also, I tried out a lot of Chaos Lord builds, and they're all really good. Such as Chaos Lord, Slaanesh Chaos Lord on a steed with the Burning Brand. Put him in a bike unit. It outflanks, and then you got this Torrent Strength 4 AP3 Flamer. You can pretty much just wipe out any defensive unit that's trying to entrench and cover. The Corn one's also really good, where you put him on a Juggernaut and take the Blind Axe Fury, because then he's basically a Demon Prince. He's tough 5 with 4 wounds, and he's getting 5 attacks with the Demon Weapon. That's at Strength 6 AP2 at Initiative, and still at Weapon Skill 5 even after the minuses from having the axe.
Yeah, and that -1 on any one of those characters doesn't make a difference really, ever, because their weapon skill's so high.
How many points is that squad?
Which squad?
Lord on a bike with some bike buddies.
If you keep it really cheap, the Lord only ends up being like 120 to 140, but that's without. If that's only
you
if
want
you
the
don't.
brand.
Yeah, well, that's with the brand actually, because the
Oh.
Lord's only 65.
Shit.
But
The
you
bike's
probably,
only 20.
you might want to consider getting the 4+ invul though, so that makes them a little more expensive. But with the bike squad, who's really cheap, it only ends up being like 200, 300, depending on how big you want to make that bike squad
Okay.
for the whole thing.
It's really good.
The thing I want to try out next though is doing Tzeentch stuff, because Tzeentch is my favorite god, but I haven't gotten around to it. And so
I think Tzeentch is actually like the hidden power of the book that
Oh, yeah.
people are very overlooking a lot.
I mean, a lot of it is Thousand Suns. Everyone's like Tzeentch, Thousand Suns, and Thousand Suns haven't changed in there, so they're still mediocre. But there's still a lot of good Tzeentch stuff in the book.
No, I don't. I think they, with the whole point of not buying like the sucky powers in the old codex like Doombolt.
Yeah.
The Doombolt now
Doombolt's
is
super.
Well,
it's super
no,
good. now.
Doombolt's good.
The
right?
Tzeentch powers are the best in the book. They're better than Nurgle and Slaanesh,
Well,
hands down.
That seems to make sense.
I think
Yeah,
like
of
the
course,
thing I
right?
think about it, I think the Doombolt's really good, but in terms of Thousand Suns, they can't get Breath of Chaos because it's 2 charge, and they're
That's
only
fine.
single ones.
That's
So
good. That gives you a
it's-
better chance.
so
to
it's
that gives
Doombolt
that gives you a
or,
50-50 chance of getting a good power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 50-50 though. So it's Doombolt or Gift, which will probably become Primaris.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's
Primaris-
100% that
Yeah.
you get a
you
good
get
power.
a decent power no matter what.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But the things I wanted to try out Tzeentch-wise though is Jet Bike Lord, who's just a solo crazy guy. Haven't decided if I want to do Sorcerer or Lord yet, but basically you put him on the bike, which is the jet bike, which is the disc, which is it says it gives him +1 attack, but because it's a jet bike, he also has armored steed, so he gets +1 toughness from just riding a bike. So it'll be tough 5, and then also take the 4+ invul, which turns into 3+ from the Mark of Tzeentch. And then you can go Burning Brand for that Torrent Flamer, and then I was considering pretty much getting another demon weapon, either like Black Mace or maybe the Murder Sword, because
Yes!
this would probably be the place to put the Murder Sword on.
Murder.
He has the
Sword!
mobility to get to the character, and the durability from being tough 5 with 3+ invul.
I was actually looking at the Murder Sword. It has a really cool name,
It's
but I
really
don't.
cool.
It's really cool.
really
I know,
bad.
it's really bad. I don't think I'll ever
I know
take
it's
it.
bad. I just wanted to try
It's
it.
just. Fu-
But
I understand.
if
It
not, you can-
sucks.
It sucks.
But, oh my god, that name.
This is
It's a badass name.
Best place to put it is, I think, this is Tzeentch Lord on a bike. But
I would probably agree with that because jetpacks are fast.
if not, Black Mace would probably be more reasonable. But the thing I also wanted to try was doing the Tzeentch mark on a landing shield. Because the way the landing shield works is, if its shielders are up, it gives the unit 4+ invul against shooting. Which combined with the mark of Tzeentch gives it a 3+, because it's +1 to the 4+.
And if you really want to waste points, you put the Chaos Shrine right next to it. So then you'll rerollable 3+ in a small little bubble.
And that's where you put all your objectives.
Yep.
I was actually thinking the Chaos Shrine sounds really cool. For 75 points, if you've got a lot of invul saves,
Yep.
Your Thousand Suns are just like, yeah, we turned into Thunderhammer Stormshield Terminators. What are you gonna do about it?
And in your opinion,
Mhm.
with the new Chaos Codex, do you still think that they have demon allies? Should take them.
Flamers of
The
Demon
reason,
Flamers
if you're gonna
super
take demon
good.
allies, it's because of the broken units that demons have right now, which is flamers and screamers. You know, it's you can't go wrong by deep striking a bunch of templates that always win on 4+ and kill anything they go against. And then screamers are also really good. But you don't need them because Chaos has a lot of good units, and the things that they're still missing is really good scoring units. Because I think Space Marines are good and cheap, but they don't end up doing too much unless you spend too many points. And then Cultists are also just really cheap guard, but you'd probably be better off getting guard. And so if you're looking at getting allies, I'd probably go with the guard route, because then you can get guard and vendettas are still better than the Helldrake. Helldrake's pretty good though.
What?
I mean,
It depends on what you want.
I think,
Vendetta
I think
is-
the Helldrake is.
no, I think the Helldrake's good, but not.
I think it might be
anti-air.
arguably one of the
No, the Helldrake's not an
better
anti-air.
flyers in the game.
No, it's definitely one of the better flyers, but it's better at killing infantry, because if you go the Hades autocannon route, and that's really just to be going against flyers,
Yes.
and it's okay because it's the problem is it's hitting on 4+. I've had a lot of games where I only get one hit, and then it's still strength 8 against 12 most of the time.
Well, most of the time you're only gonna get 1 or 2 turns of shooting anyway against other flyers. So what you do is you vector strike one and shoot another one, activate his demon forge and blow his ass off.
Oh yeah, well
That's what
yeah,
happens.
but like that's to me though is basically because of the weapon loadout, you basically choose to be pure anti-infantry, which it is good at if you go the Baleflyer route, or you can give it more utility and go for flyers.
You
But if
you
you're
make him
looking-
100% against anti-flyers because the whole codex is built against everything else that's not flyers.
Yeah,
So if the chaos
Havoc
needed
should kill
anti-flyer,
everything.
well,
yeah,
Havoc's, I've had luck with just taking 3 units of Havoc's 24 autocannons,
and I think
getting lucky and downing
Chaos
one.
Marines going down to 13 points saves a lot of points, and it's
Oh yeah, no, like I've had the best luck when I do the Demon Prince list. It's pretty much going just complete undivided cheap as possible. So I take a lot of units of just 5 Chaos Space Marines, no marks, just a Melt-A-Gun, and I have like 30. I end up with 20 of those and a Cultist unit, and that gives me a lot of scoring units. And then I still got bikes and stuff.
the cultist units are cool.
Yeah.
I like
So it's all really affordable. I still have a lot of moddies and shooting going down, and that really helps compensate for the expense of the Demon Prince, who still does a lot for his price. But as far as thinking in terms of
I
allies,
actually
though,
don't think that the Demon Prince is. I mean, it might be a little bit overcosted, but I think it's more point appropriate.
No, that's
now-
More
I think that's what it
than we
is.
thought.
Yeah.
Before it was just way undercosted. And that's
Yeah,
why
it was
so good.
stupid retarded. You know, you look at the Chaos Codex before, and you're like, well, why would you not take 2 Demon Princes?
Yeah, and now it's expensive, but that's probably what it should be.
I think so too, because it's supposed to be like a destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying on the Helldrake thing is that if you're looking at allies, I'd rather go Vendetta for the anti-air flyer, still, and that
I
way
would-
I can use that to and just focus on the Helldrake killing more infantry.
I would spend about 600 points on Demon Allies. I'd bring Popper Nurgle with the mask, some what are they called, the Demonettes, and Plague Bears.
Yeah.
It's the best way to go, because the mask still gives you lash, but it's a D6.
Pavane.
Yeah, it lets you shoot 3 pavilions, which
Yep.
only moves D6, but it's a shooting attack and not psychic power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it still gives you the old lash, and you still could do old shooting tricks with it.
Yeah, a lot of shooting tricks because the way you can use it to abuse allocation, shuffle the unit around so that the
You can turn walkers
special-
around.
Yeah,
To make the important shit in front.
yeah, so that they take the wounds first. You can overwatch with it.
Yeah, there's a
That's so stupid.
there's a lot of I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you can. There's a lot of little tricks that you could do with the mask. I mean, he's only 100 points, and Popper Nurgle was 160 for what he does. It's incredible. It's a toughness 6, 5 wound, 4 up, Fennel Pain, Eternal Warrior
Yeah, yeah.
with a 2 up poison.
Yeah, he comes with the 2+ poison in the codex, and since he's strength 6, it's pretty much always being rerolled.
Yeah, at AP2, he's fucking a
and,
monster.
and he has a Vortex base,
Yes.
so he's very durable and very formidable in combat for only 160 points.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I've been talking to Andrew. As soon as the codex came out, Andrew has been like nonstop Facebooking me, messaging me for like 2 weeks. I love you, Andrew.
All right. So we went over some stupid gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of those played out, or
Which gimmicks? The Nurgle, all the ones about Epidemius. Because
Oh,
there's
no.
a lot of gimmicks.
all right? You've basically been testing entirely sort of gimmicky lit. You've been testing gimmicks. Which
Yeah.
ones have worked? Which ones have failed? Actually,
Unfortunately,
we've been over what worked. What failed?
a lot of things. Well, unfortunately, a lot of the gimmicks
lot
I
of
tried,
things.
I kept running into like armies that are naturally good against it.
Uh-oh.
Like when I did Dark Mechanicus, it was against Tau, and he had the 9 broadsides. And then when I did, I tried to do Corn Berserkers with the Forgeable Dreadclaw,
Whoops.
which is just an assault vehicle flyer, basically. And that has to do
Yeah,
strike.
the first half of that sentence is. Whoops.
Whoops.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried to do a World Eater list with Corn Berserkers in the Forgeable Flyer, the Dreadclaw, which is just an assault vehicle flyer for 85 points. But I ended up playing against Orcs, and so. But the thing was, he was also taking the vehicle that has the Strength 9 AP3 Ordnance, and I didn't have a lot
He
of.
had basilisks.
No, it's a forgeable Orc vehicle,
Oh, okay.
and so basically he
Rooted
killed all my.
Ratzuka.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called, but it was some big ordnance thing. But basically, I had to drop all my berserkers, and they couldn't get the assault off, so they all died before they made it to the orcs, which he
Awesome.
had like 90 of anyway. Let me see what else was there. I tried to do the when I did Mono Slanesh with all Noise Marines and just Havocs pretty much. I also took a Terminator unit with the Slanesh Lord in it. I played against Grey Knights, but it was on Hammer and Anvil, and he was doing pretty much all Purifiers with the Strength 5 Stormbolters. And so he basically played a defensive gun line, and because I basically had to stand still to get 24-inch range or move to get 12, I was never in range to shoot him, but he was always in range to shoot me.
Yeah, that's
So
annoying.
when I was walking towards him, I basically died before I did any damage to him, except for the autocannons. So that game was a big flop. So the games I've had the most success with was when I did bare bones, undivided chaos-based marines with the Demon Prince. Because
That's how you do it. Black
Yeah.
Legion.
a sheep gives you a lot of bodies, still a lot of damage, and then the Demon Prince just does a lot of damage. Of course, you don't have to take the Demon Prince. It was 355 points that you can spread out to do anything else you want.
That's like 3 Chaos Marine squads right there.
Yeah. You could take a cheap lord for only like 100 something, and then get a whole another unit or two.
Yeah, the thing was with now, I think your primary HQ choice is going to be your warlord. He needs to be there, but I think the best support is going to be the warpsmith. I think the warpsmith is going to be the best secondary HQ that you have for that.
I think
codex.
that really depends on your list and your opponent's list.
I don't think so. I think you always take that. Not always, but I think that's for me. That's my choice because I always want to, make my opponent's cover one less. Something that's important.
Shatter defenses is really
Shatter
good.
defense is really
That's
good.
the thing I really like about the Warsmith is the shatter defense. And he, even if you do run out of vehicles to repair, he still can curse your opponent's vehicles.
That's true.
So he's still got use. I think he's just a little expensive for me to.
110.
Yeah, he's 110 base, and so I'm still never going to be like, oh, automatically Warsmith, when I can be like, oh, I can get this Lord for like the same price that's pretty good in combat. It's on a bike or something. So it's definitely a good option.
I like the warpsmith as a secondary HQ.
Mm-hmm.
Which the first I'm either going to take Abazaba, always, or Araman. Those are my 2 favorites.
Arman's so cool.
Oh yeah, Arman. I've been hearing. I haven't played with them yet, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about people going Huron or Arman for the automatic infiltrating
Yeah,
warlord.
Huron
choice.
Huron is going to be one of the more used lords now.
Yeah.
For 160, I mean, for what he does, gives you an automatic D3 infiltrate, which me and Andrew were looking through it, and this is kind of semi-broken. So you take one of those 2 units, Arman, Huron. You take
Sure.
Terminators inside of a Land Raider.
Sure.
You automatically infiltrate them
Yeah.
inside the Land Raider.
It's a
Uh-huh.
it's a dedicated transport, so you infiltrate the Land Raider.
So you have your Land Raider at the very least 18 inches away from your opponent.
Right.
So I don't know. That just to me just sounds fucking wonderful.
You can't charge turn 1, right?
if you
doesn't
go
matter.
first.
No, you can't.
You
You can't charge.
No, if you go
If you
second,
go
you can
second,
charge
you
turn
can
one.
charge.
No,
Yeah.
if your unit is infiltrated, you can't charge first turn at all. Period.
No.
No, that's his first player
game-
turn.
The first it's on the first player turn.
Because the whole point of this
I
rule
think-
is that so the opposing player gets a chance to respond.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. I mean, you're 18 inches away. You're not gonna set up a first turn charge with that anyway.
Probably not.
Oh. Yeah.
Basically, the point is if you go second with the infiltrator, your opponent basically has to let you get the charge off.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Either
it's a
they destroy
problem.
the Land Raider or you're gonna have Terminators in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And Terminators getting cheaper is really good too.
Aren't they the same cost?
Fuck no.
No,
You get 3 for 95 points and then
31 points per base.
31. Oh, I mean, it's one more point.
Well, weren't they 30 points each before?
Yeah, but the other upgrades for them are cheaper. Like the combat weapons stay the same, but the Power Fist, the Lightning Claws, they all got
Did you
cheaper.
ever buy those?
Yes,
Why wouldn't you just give them power axes now?
that'd be the best way to go.
That's free.
Power Axis free.
Yeah.
Now I've been hearing on the internet. I hear a lot of people complaining about Terminator builds that they had modeled being completely illegal now, because
Illegal?
it was something has to do with the limits on what upgrades each base can take, where it's like one ranged and one combat weapon now, and I think a lot of people were doing like a lot of double weapons or double shooting. I don't know.
Yeah,
because I didn't play
because
Chaos
it says
before, so I'm
any
not
model
really
may
sure.
take XXX. So what happened is people didn't have the choice. Okay, you could take a Heavy Flamer, and you could buy him a Power Fist, and now it's one model may take Power Fist, one model may take Heavy Flamer, so they can't be stacked anymore. So now a guy with a Heavy Flamer or Power Fist, you have to rip off the Power Fist or the Power Weapon. No, the Fist, not the Power Weapon, because they all come with Power Weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, people used to model them that way. I did. So now 2 of my Terminators are in a box.
Sucks.
Sucks for them too. But it's okay because you get free power axes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it on the sorcerer because he comes with a force weapon, so you can choose how you do it.
Yeah, another interesting thing with the force weapon, if you have a force power axe, you can't deny the witch on a force weapon. Can't.
Right, yeah.
So it's pretty badass. So it's AB2, you just smack somebody and psychic test and they're just dead.
Yep.
It's awesome. That happened to me. I was very unhappy.
So yeah, I guess for the test, as far as testing goes, Chaos is pretty strong. It's just certain lists are better than others, of course, but Black Legion just seems to be pretty awesome.
Yep.
Most doubt.
Okay.
No
I'm
doubt.
very happy with that. And Korn sucks.
Yeah.
Bad.
Eh.
Yeah.
Well, I
Karn
think
Karn
that's-
is really amazing,
Garn's funny.
but his friends suck.
That's why he can kill his friends.
Now I know
Stop
why.
sucking.
Sucking.
Yeah, Corn Berserkers suck. Noise Marines got better. Plague Marines got
The
a
same.
little better.
They're basically the same, but they're still really good because they were really good before.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more point for Plague Weapon.
Yeah.
Poison.
They have
It's
that
pretty
focus
awesome.
Poison, yeah.
Still trying to figure out after looking at that book how to, because like if I take that Chaos Sorcerer with my Necron or with my Necrons as a primary,
Yeah.
my only troop choice that I could technically take would be either the Chaos Space Marines or
The
Cultists.
cultists. Yeah.
so. Still undecided on like which one to take and then how to build them.
Probably just for
Regular
me.
Chaos Marines.
For me, well, it depends on what you want to do. Do you want that troop choice to be the one that hangs back and holds a point, or do you want them to be the one that pushes up to
No,
kill?
it's an easy answer. Your Necrons. Your Necron warriors hold the objective. Your Chaos Marines go and kill people.
Yeah.
It's 13 points. You get a bow pistol, close combat weapon.
Yeah.
And they just run forward.
Yep.
Would you take an icon with them?
No.
No.
I think the
Uh,
only things I've been considering icons on at all are bikes.
And like how big of a squad would you recommend? Maybe
20.
20? 20
Nah,
men?
I'd go
I
for
like
the 10 and the
Chaos
Rhino.
squads.
Yeah.
10 and a Rhino?
10 Rhino, double special weapon.
Yep.
I would stay away from 10 Rhino only because that's a really aggressive squad,
Exactly.
and
Why?
Necrons are. Well, no, you've got the Wraiths, and if you want them in there to support the other parts of your assault,
Yeah.
then go for the Rhino squad.
Point
But if
is,
you want
you
more
can-
of a,
And it also gives you a troop choice that can fight in combat.
Yeah. Point is, you can build them any way you want, and they'll be good at it if you buy the right things. And they can. They can buy anything they want, basically.
So I think I finally found out a reason to buy that stupid Dark Vengeance box
Oh, what's the reason?
to get the Chaos stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what? What do you need from that box? I want to buy another one.
If you don't want the cultists, I do.
Shit.
No, I want the cultists.
We all want the same shit. Nobody
I
wants the
want
Dark
other stuff
Angels.
like that.
Nobody wants the Dark Angels.
Fuck. We're all splitting the box for one cultist. Damn it.
That
Somehow I
what's
didn't
that?
feel
That's
like I got the
2
value
to
out of
3
this.
cultists apiece.
Damn
Yeah.
it. That's not good.
Now no one
Yeah.
can use them.
Yeah, and then I
It's
got to
like-
be able to convert the. I
I think
have
we're
to
all
be
gonna-
able to convert a sorcerer onto a bike, which
We're all,
isn't
we're all
going to
be buying our own boxes now.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I can convert those Dark Angel bikes, at least one of them, into a Chaos Sorcerer.
Yes, you can.
You could.
And then put on some spiky bits.
Yeah. All you need to do is put spiky bits and it just becomes
Yeah,
chaos.
spiky bits.
Insta chaos.
It's like, buy a chaplain, spiky bits. Now it's a dark apostle.
It's like instant
Whoa.
ramen noodles. You sell that on like internet and be like instant ramen noodles. No, instant chaos. Just add
Yeah.
water. Just add spiky bits.
Well, the Dark Angels are almost chaos anyway.
Yeah, half of them were, half of them weren't. We just don't know which half is.
What's the deal with Cypher anyway? Because the Cypher model's still underneath chaos. For Cypher the Fallen Angel, it's still listed.
They're not
underneath
going to
the
let
chaos
us know.
stuff.
They're tricking everybody with their fluff.
I think unless like it's explained in like the Dark Heresy stuff coming out from Forge World, we're really never gonna know what Cypher's real agenda is.
Mhm.
I don't think they'll ever say it.
Yeah, because I think it's too good of a teaser for them to like really reveal it. Unless they really are scrapped for money, and then they'll come up with like the Cypher Codex.
The army is just him, and it's just how awesome you make him for
Yeah.
point cost.
He is Lionel Johnson.
He is your HQ in Two Troop Toys.
Yes,
No, I think that
He
he
is
is
the
lying.
ultimate
I think
Rambo.
he is lying. He is the lion.
he is the lion. That's why nobody can catch him.
He knows what's up.
He's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out."
He's the emperor. No.
Whoa,
No, whoa, Emperor's on the chair, sir.
Like it may be the false emperor, but you gotta show a little respect.
Fuck him.
Okay, so guys done talking about chaos?
Yes.
I think we are.
Well, no, but
All right,
yes.
being that
Sure.
dead horse, just for now, save more for next time. All right,
Oh
so
yeah. Hold on.
go
The
ahead.
warp talons suck.
yeah, what's your opinion on? They do?
I think they suck.
They don't have grenades.
What?
They don't
They
have
They don't
grenades?
have grenades. That's something I didn't realize the
They
last time
don't
we
have
talked
that.
about it.
The
They
don't
blind
have
attack
grenades.
is not very
Wow.
good. They're very expensive points wise. They're 160 to start for 5 and 30 points each. They do come with the 5+ vulnerable save. The only way to take them then would be giving Markham Zinch, but then they're just like
Then they're still expensive. They're
they're
just
like 39 points a model
they're-
for lightning claws.
they're just too specialized. They're only good against Marines.
Yeah,
And
then
everything else they just fall apart because they're too expensive.
then people are gonna know like, okay, you got warp talons. As soon as they come down, they're dead, and there's no real way to hide them. I mean, you can jump in
Landing
behind.
pad, baby.
Yeah, but then you can't charge them.
Can't charge that
When
turn
you-
That's the
anyway.
problem is you basically you're stuck deep striking them just to be close so that but they're still jump infantry. You might as well have just deployed them and run them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is,
can't
if you
deploy
have
them,
them,
right?
you
Yeah.
have to have a bunch of other targets that people think are deadlier, like your super prince.
Yeah.
You have to have that. You have to have the infiltrating land raider. Then they become effective because then they're just like on the bottom of the priority list.
Just multiple target saturation.
But the thing is, there's 3 other fast attack choices that are way
Better.
better.
Bikes.
The Helldrake, the bikes, and the spawn are actually really good now.
Yep.
The spawn are ridiculous. 150 points for 15 toughness, 5 wounds. Fuck.
Wow.
Yep.
And it's
Gilmark
extra
Nurgle.
30 points, 180 for 15 toughness, 6 wounds. Good luck. Good luck
Yeah.
getting to that.
Yep. And they're beasts, so
And they're beasts.
they rocket across the map.
They're fast as
Wow.
hell. They're really good. I didn't have that pointed out to
Something
me
used
until.
to suck, now it's amazing.
Yeah, Andrew
Game
pointed that out to me,
Workshop.
and I overlooked it, and I was like, dude, this is fucking retarded.
Do they still have the Apocalypse box set where you get 10 in one
No,
box?
they
No.
stopped selling.
No, they
those
stopped
a
selling the
long
Apocalypse.
time ago.
That was like 8 years ago.
Those are, that's how I got my
That was like
monoliths. Was I
6-5
bought the
times ago.
Apocalypse box for two for
That's how I was able to
90
get-
for $90.
Yeah, I got that one. I bought it at a Games Day. They actually sold me a discount off
Oh.
of the 90 too.
Oh, it's nice.
So I was able to get 2 monoliths off of that. I already had like 2 that I owned myself. I ended up picking like another one from Shane.
I still regret not getting the 18 Crisis Suit one.
I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Everything was so cheap.
But at the same time, they're redoing the Crisis Suit sculpts for the Tau, so
They better look like the Forge World ones. They better look
they
like
better
that.
at least look that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gundam.
Gingham style.
Gingham style on fuckers. Dirty Warhammer bitches.
That'll be something kind of cool that if GW really wants to sell more stuff again, just come out with a re-release of the Apocalypse.
No,
Just-
they lost so much money on that.
They
did?
did. They lost a shit
lost
ton.
It's not popular at all.
No, it's not. It's not that it's not
No,
popular. It's
people
very
bought it.
popular. They will sell hundreds of those boxes, thousands
Yeah,
of those
they will
boxes.
sell out.
But the problem with that is 9 Neiman Russes for $200. One of them costs 60.
Yeah.
Do the math. That's like $450. They're losing like $300 in each box. It's
Yeah.
it's not worth it for them to do that.
Well, it comes down to the actual cost of the
Like-
material.
Like they're still
Like
making,
compared to if like obviously if they sold the single ones, they make way more money. But the point of selling a bunch at once is
It's just to clear your inventory.
Yeah, it's
You're just trying to sell to sell.
Like that's the reason Costco works. They sell huge bulk items, and because they buy so much at once, they get it cheaper and they can sell it cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
It's the
GW
whole, like, it's either you're selling for quality per se, as in you're selling like a small amount of items for a high amount of cost, or you can do quantity where you're selling a bunch of those items and you're getting a lot of revenue off of selling
Yeah.
a lot of those items.
Well, the new GW trend, if they ever do that again, nine of anything, 9 limited russes, we use that as an example, that'll probably be like $400.
Yeah.
Probably. Because you look at the shit fast click chaos crap that they try to push out for like $300 and you get like 4 boxes of shit and you never use. And the Battle Force, fuck, that's a disappointment.
Yeah, I miss the old days where battle forces would like save you $50.
What was
yeah,
the
where
battle
if you
force
used
for
everything,
this one?
you would at least save $40 to $50.
Yeah. Well, now the Battle Forces save you about $10, but then you're using like maybe 2 of the units out of every box. They give you a bunch of crap that you're not going to use.
Mm.
Was Battle Force having it?
The Chaos one?
Yeah.
Spikes.
It's bikes,
Or
a unit of
Berserkers and-
Berserkers, Marines, a Rhino,
Yeah.
Taking a look at it right
and
now.
I think it has Warp Talons in it.
No,
It's like
I don't.
chaos.
Oh,
Or
it might.
Raptors.
It might.
Oh, it's the same kit, but yeah, let's look it up. But it's a shitty Battle Force.
Yeah, I think every time I look at it, it's like the only thing I want are the bikes and the
There it is,
Chaos
Battle
Space
Force.
Marine.
120
That sucks.
bucks for a Battle Force. Looks like you get
Possessed.
5 possessed, Chaos Space Marine Rhino, 3 bikes,
And a squad.
and a squad of
Chaos Marines.
10 Chaos Marines.
It's a
No cultists?
shitty
Nope.
Battle
Cultists are
Force.
only in Vengeance.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is the Hellbrood. But some rumors are Hellbrood's getting its own release.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
better.
fine.
But still,
Where's the cultist though?
Still in the Vengeance box.
the Battle Force is super shitty. I need to get the psychic cards. I need to get those.
The Chaos Psychic cards?
Yeah,
Okay.
need to get
Let's see
those.
what
Those are
else.
cool.
All right, I think we've.
Yeah. So
I don't-
Tau, we went on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Told you we're going to go on tangents.
All right.
Shitty Chaos
I
Battle
don't
Force.
see how we're never, ever not going to go on a tangent.
So yeah, the sculpts. Yeah, Tau has been one of my always favorite because I grew up watching Robotech.
Everyone
but
loves Tau.
every-
Except
yeah.
for people that are lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You're lame, Kyle. What about
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, the Chaos player. No, Tau. Yeah, I would love to play the Tau again if they had a new codex.
Honestly, I think the Tau are a very playable codex right now.
With
You
the new
can-
rule set.
Even before that, they were pretty playable. I had good results with them. But the new rule set basically just it made Fire Warriors worthwhile, and it let you take some Forge World stuff that's nice to have. Those are the 2 big buffs.
And the 2d6 for the jump.
No, I don't like that.
No?
Nope, because
Actually,
what if
no,
you
it-
roll double ones? Oh shit!
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I think the other way is knowing 100%.
Yeah,
you're
the
gonna
knowing
move.
100% is more valuable, but at the same time, it's pretty cool when you're like move 6, run 6, jump 12. Ah, yeah, contesting.
Yeah. Well, what else could do that? The Eldar jet bikes? Little fuckers.
Eldar jet bikes have similar thing.
They're
That's why I considered having Eldar allies. With
yeah,
my,
because
Tau.
they can move up to like 60 inches in one turn.
Oh yeah, Eldar jet bikes. No, you can't do the jump when you turbo boost with Eldar jet bikes.
Yeah, but they turbo boost
They
36.
They turbo boost like 36.
Yeah,
so they
it's
move
fucking
48 a
stupid.
turn. They're fast.
It's so retarded.
All right, so I think today I'm just going to talk mainly about the units and thought processes or thoughts I have about the units.
Go for it,
themselves.
Anchi.
And then maybe next time we have some time to talk about the Tau, we'll go over some tactics.
No, wait, you can't be Anchi because he actually fought.
Yeah, he had it all wrong.
Yeah, he liked fighting.
No, he liked parrying.
He liked making you
staring-
not fight.
He liked staring.
He liked
at
showing
that-
you
yeah,
his stick weapon.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, Demon Prince, how many attacks do you have?" That's right, 0. Because
Swing
I
at
have 5.
Come at me. Yeah, that guy was the ultimate badass.
Oh,
He's like Steven
his
Seagal.
job was to stand there and laugh at close combat characters.
I liked Anchi.
Like if they bring him back, oh man, I issue a challenge.
They better bring him back because he had a
He'd be
power weapon.
great. Yeah, he'd be great actually because he'd be awesome in challenges. All right, I'll reduce all of your attacks to 0, and I have 2 attacks.
Yeah. I doubt they'll give him 5 attacks again though. If he keeps that power.
If he keeps that,
Yeah, they're not gonna give him
they
5.
won't
They'll
give
probably
him-
give him 3. fuckers.
All right, so just start
Dirty
from the top.
GW bitches.
Let's start from the things you have to take. You have to take Shazel or Shazo Battlesuit Commander. Tau Codex is the only codex left in the game with 1+ choices. So no matter if they're allies or your main army, you will always see Fire Warriors and a Battlesuit Commander on the Tau table. Now, I really like the Battlesuit Commander, mostly because he is an independent character that can buy shield drones, but can still attach to units, and that's something unique to the Tau, and Wolves have it too. Space Wolves have it as well. But the Tau can really abuse it, because I think the Commander's expensive for the shooting he puts out. I mean, bare bones Commander that you're going to see is about 105 points. Plasma Rifle Missile Pod BS5.
Yeah, he starts off at 75.
That's with
Or
the 50-point
60.
one that you the 50-point one that you upgrade to BS5.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Badass.
I think that's the bare bones you can get for an effective commander, because he does have BS5, and with precision shooting, you really want to roll as many dice as possible to try and abuse your precision shots with those high strength, low AP weapons. I see a lot of people.
Buying BS doesn't help you with that because you need 6s.
Right, but
Actually,
he's a
it'll help. It'll help you if you don't buy it, so you can reroll the 1s and 2s.
No, I like it just because he's a character. You want to have as many dice as you can for all your Tau characters, because a lot of Tau players aren't using precision shooting, which is heinously strong.
I don't actually. In most of my games, most people forget precision shooting
I know.
altogether.
Precision shooting is the number one reason why I think the Tau. I think that's actually the biggest buff they got, because you can take that melta gun out of that Space Marine squad. You can knock out their Power Fist, and suddenly that tactical Marine combat isn't as scary. Even though you shouldn't be there. You can snipe that guy with the las cannon. That jackass holding the relic, yeah, he's gonna die.
That's true.
It's super strong. That's the reason why I upgrade almost universally. Every single one of my Tau squads has, my Battlesuit squads at least, has a Shazel in it, the Sergeant, to get that precision shot rule.
Yeah. It's worth it right now for 10 points.
It's 10 points, yeah.
It's
super
way
worth it.
it's way worth it.
Anyway, I mean, sometimes I see players run the Battlesuit Commander with flamers or burst pods or.
Why would you buy the flame? That's fucking
Meltas.
retarded.
You know, I never particularly understood why people would waste their high BS models with flamers.
You
or
take
they would take.
you take that shit on the bodyguard. One of the guys who's like 30 points.
I honestly.
Just one guy.
No, honestly, I never think you should buy a bodyguard. Buying a bodyguard, in my eyes, is never justified, because you get a double Force Orc chart at 2,000 points. So in a higher point game where you're going to run out of crisis suits to buy, that would force you to take the bodyguard.
Actually, by bodyguard, I mean the elite choice guys.
Oh yeah, if you join them to an elite choice, I still don't like taking the flamer on them, because, let's be real, one non-heavy flamer isn't going to do much.
Might make the difference. Might take out that first closest model and they fail to charge.
Nah, well, you shouldn't be there.
That's when you be like, in your face.
It's
Sometimes you have no choice. What happens if they get to you?
Well,
then you should have another unit standing in front of the crisis suits.
What if they got a flamer to Breath of Chaos?
Well.
What if they have Descent of Angels
well, there's nothing you can
or
do
the
to Breath of
Vanguards
Chaos
and you have no
except
choice and
for,
they're just there?
Spread out and make it hard for them to deep strike on you.
What if they got Bavane, so they got pushed again?
Yeah. What if they weren't
well,
wearing any underwear and they got butt fucked?
Well, if that happens, then the Tau would have to wear underwear.
Yeah.
What if you
But
lost
they're
all your
fish people.
What if you
They
lost
are
all your
fish
dice
people.
so you can't roll anything? So you
They don't
get
have
everything
dicks.
automatically?
You have to
Okay,
use
we're
the dice
going
app on your
like this
computer
is degrading
on
so
your-
far right now.
All right, so
You see the way they're modeled? Oh, my bad.
anyway, so that's the Battlesuit Commander. Honestly, I always think you should just maximize your rate of fire and your strength. So Plasma Missile is really the only way I would go. Though
Do
you
you-
could consider the Cyclic Ion Blaster for the rending.
Do you ever take stealth suits?
I'll get to stealth suits. I
Okay.
don't think stealth suits are bad. I think stealth suits have two problems. But elites are after HQs, so we'll get to
Go
them
for
in a
it.
sec.
Okay.
So the other entries are the bodyguard team. Don't ever buy these.
Okay, so there's no other HQ choices because you're not going to take the Aetheros either.
That's wrong. He's next, and the Ethereal is very playable.
Why would you
Less
take
playable right now because of precision shooting, but he's not terrible.
So you want him to run
Is
up there
he
and die
cons-
as soon
is
as
he
possible?
an
There's
independent
two.
character?
There's two ways. Okay, so first, bodyguard team. Never buy it. It takes away your commander's ability to join units, which is his ability to protect units and confers their leadership.
Okay.
And they're super expensive. And the newest rulebook FAQ took away their character status. So the whole unit doesn't have precision shot anymore. So never buy them.
As it should be.
Yeah, no, that was stupid. Anyway.
Same thing with the
Oh,
non-Viper
and
shit.
one more thing for the commander. Honestly, I think the best way to run the commander, because like I said, he's a little expensive for the shooting he gives you, is to run him in a defensive configuration where you give him the 2+ save, which will reduce his jump move to D6, but you don't use him to jump at that point. You buy 2 shield drones, which copy the 2+ save, and you stick it in front of a unit you don't want to die. And now your opponent has to shoot through 6 Terminator wounds before they can start hurting that unit.
Unless they double you out.
Unless they what?
Double you out.
That's why, but the commander is still an independent character who can look out, sir.
That's true.
So it's a very
You still
safe
got the.
unit.
You still got the.
And usually you'll put the shield drones out in front because they have the 4+ invul save. So that usually comes out to about 170 points for just this fully defensive commander with BS5 and plasma missile, and it just safeguards units. You stick that in front of a unit of crisis suits or whatever, and your opponent says, "Shit, now my missiles can't hurt it," or "I really don't want to fire at them because nothing will happen."
Yeah.
So it's just a really strong way to dissuade your opponent from shooting at your pretty squishy Tau stuff. Like the things that you put in harm's way, you want the commander out in front to say, but it's not going to be easy for you to kill them. And so for the Ethereal, there's two ways you can run Ethereal. One's a gimmick list. And the Ethereal gimmick list is 2,000 points or more, because you need 2 4-star charts for this shit. For the gimmick list, you take 2 of them. Okay, you have one sitting in the back with the rest of your army, and you have another one like joint to Crute or something with infiltrate. And then you just run him face first in the opponent so he dies.
You can't do that. Independent character without infiltrate can't infiltrate with infiltrators.
Okay, you run into something else.
No, this is what you do.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, because I looked at that too, because I was going to try to put Aramon with the infiltrating unit of Thousand Suns, but if I roll 1, then he can't do that. Because you have to give Aramon infiltrate also, which is a waste. It's fucking stupid.
Okay, well, there's other ways to do it, like putting him with Pathfinders and they're infiltrating Devilfish, because the tank can't infiltrate.
Oh no,
That
no,
works.
no! I got one.
What?
Put him on top of a battlement and leaping.
Okay,
down.
we're not there yet. There's the second option. So the first way to do
He's
it
like,
is
no.
you run him face first into your opponent.
For the greater good, motherfuckers.
Using whatever your preferred method of delivery is, and you get him killed. And the other way to get him killed is to put him on a tall building and have him jump off.
Yep. We will remember.
Anyway,
Bob.
he dies, and your army flips out. And so everyone takes leadership tests. But you've got a second Ethereal there to make sure no one runs away. You get to re-roll all your leadership tests. And now your entire
That's
army...
if everybody has, whoever has line of sight to him, right?
Right. So
Okay.
you have them close to each other.
Yeah.
You have the other
You put
guy.
him on the other battlement.
Yeah, on the other battlement.
So everybody can see
so
him.
everyone can see.
Calm down.
What had happened was the 2 Aetherials were like, let's do this together, and he saw the
And
other
the
one.
other one's like,
You know what? I'll pass.
He's like this. He's just like, pop.
anyway.
He's like,
Whoops.
well, I'm in charge now.
So that will give your entire army preferred enemy, which lets you reroll all shooting ones.
That's really good.
That it's 100 points to run that little gimmick, and hopefully you have a battlement to jump off of. Oh no! What am I talking about? You buy a Fortress of Redemption when you have him jump off the top.
Or Bastion.
Or Bastion. yeah.
Bastion will work.
Anyway,
Or any ruin.
any sort of ruin. And so that gives your whole army rerolls.
What would happen, what
So
would
it's just
really
it's
be
a nice little
gay,
buff.
is if you put him on top of like a 3-star ruin, and then you jump him off, and you roll a 6.
You rolled the 6 and he doesn't die. And you're like, what
He
shit?
survives.
He's like,
Fuck.
He stands up. I'm okay.
I'm
Why
okay,
did
guys.
you push me off the building?
You
Well,
have
at
to
that
spend,
point, then the next guy jumps off the
you have
building.
to, you have to spend 2 turns to
2
run back to the
turns.
top.
Well, no, because then the other guy that was on top of the other bastion, he jumps off.
Yeah, man. If you roll 2
And then
6s,
you roll another 6, and you're like, wow,
you would just quit
And
the
then-
game.
I didn't kill my models. Shit.
Good game. Would you like to play another game?
Anyway, I also
My strategy really, I was really hoping for one of these
I
guys
was
to
really
die.
hoping for one of these to die. Anyway, it works out. I haven't tried it, but it seems really hilarious in concept.
Yeah.
The other way to run an Ethereal is just actually to use him. Sit him in the back of your army with like a squad of Fire Warriors or a squad of Kroot. And just have him make sure no one runs away. And it was a lot better in 5th edition, where your opponents couldn't drop barrage templates on top of his head or precision shot him out of the unit. But the thought process is, you've got a unit of Kroot or Fire Warriors or something that won't die around him. Okay, he's got high leadership. He makes the unities with Fearless if it's a Tau unit. And the only way he's legitimately going to die is if someone charges him. And if someone charges the back line of your table as the Tau, you've lost already. So losing him won't cost you anything. So he just provides a 50-point leadership buff to the entire army. This is the thought process behind it.
Pretty cool.
So next we got elites. Crisis suits. They're good. They're expensive. The problems with the unit right now are you're stuck only being able to take 3 a unit, and they're weak to heavy weapons and light weapons because they only have 2 wounds.
They're weak to any weapon that shoots.
Yeah, they're weak to guns. Is their general weakness. So I mean, I said I wasn't going to do
Wait,
too
hold
much
on.
wish listening.
And they're not very good at combat, so they're weak to any weapon.
Yeah, they're weak to fists too.
Everything.
They're really weak when people shoot at them. When people look at them. That's why I'm a big proponent of that battlesuit commander who looks in front. He stands in front. And he's like, I am not weak to everything.
Except for combat.
Except for well, yes, but you shouldn't be there.
That's true.
So the crisis suits are rad. The way I generally run them in 6th is always buy a Shazray, always buy him a hardwired Black Sun filter because wholesale ignoring Night Fight is awesome, and go to town.
Yeah, I really like the whole 6th edition change where if you have one model with the special rule, everybody gets
Everyone
it.
gets
That's awesome.
It's really great.
Yeah.
I think it's smart too because it's like he shares the binoculars, you know.
Yeah, he's like, no guys, they're over there. Trust me. Shoot that way.
Shoot this way.
No, I never knew how powerful that was until I was running my Destroyer Lord with a squad of Necron Wraiths,
Mm-hmm.
where the Necron Lord says, I have preferred enemy, so do you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
badass.
shit.
It's like, oh, wait, I'm strength 6. I win most things on 2s with 3 rolls on 1s. That's
Preferred
dumb.
enemies to hit though, right?
Mhm.
No,
Both
to
now.
hit and to wound.
What
Reroll
the
1s.
hell? Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's pretty ballsy good.
Yeah, hatred is even worse. No, preferred enemy is the worst one.
Yeah.
Because hatred is only the first round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
preferred-
round of combat,
preferred enemy
you get
is
to reroll
every-
the hit.
Yeah, and then the Necron Destroyer Lord has preferred enemy everybody.
Yeah,
Nice.
everything.
All right, so
Fucker.
for crisis suits, I said
He's
I wasn't
awesome.
going to do too much wish listing, but I think the best way to fix them would be to add another wound and leave the rest of the profile the same. I like that they're weak to lasers and giant missiles.
They're weak to being hurt.
I like that they're weak to power fists and stuff, but I don't like that you can bolter them down extremely easily. So
I
a
think
lot
they
of
do-
people want tough 5.
I think
but
another
I
wound
think
would be a
another
way better
wound is
go.
probably the right way to go, because then they still have weaknesses, which I think is a very Tau thing. To be afraid of everything is very Tau.
Yeah.
So just to make it so the guardsman can't just shoot him off the table with no effort would be nice, and it lets you play a little more aggressively against like tactical squads and stuff.
Yeah.
Now we get to stealth suits. Now stealth suits aren't bad, and
I love their models.
I like the old stealth suit models the best actually because they're smaller and they look stealthy instead of like giant boxes. They're
I like
like
the whole-
they're like that kid at the anime convention with the box over his chest that he wrote Gundam on it. That's a stealth suit. So
I like the way the new ones look.
anyway, stealth suits have 2 problems. The biggest problem they have is that they're an elite choice, which means they compete with crisis suits, and crisis suits do everything for your army that's not a railgun or a strength 5 gun. If you want something that's not one of those 2 things, it's a crisis suit weapon, which means you need to have as many crisis suits as possible to diversify your army.
Farsight.
So that's a terrible idea. If they don't make Farsight turn crisis suits into troops next codex, I'm gonna be so unhappy.
Yeah, he should.
Anyway, so stealth suits. The problem with stealth suits is that they're not like a fast attack choice or a troop choice. where you would actually could take them if you wanted to, instead of the Army's composition saying, nope, you got to take crisis suits. Their gun is good. The concept of the unit is solid. They got their night field thing changed into stealth and shrouding. So now they get +3 to their cover saves, or 3+ if they're, or 4+ if they're out in the open. So they're a really strong unit to just shoot somebody and then use your jump move to jump into terrain. And then they've got 2+ saves into terrain. But they're 30 points each. And I mean, if you look at that points wise, you're paying 10 points per 18-inch strength 5 shot, BS3. So they're a little too expensive points wise.
I think the whole codex is too expensive right now.
Oh, I know.
Well, it's old too. It's like the 4th edition.
But crisis suits aren't that bad. And broadsides, I think, are actually fairly par for the course. If broadside pricing didn't change in 6th edition, I don't think that would be a problem. 70 points base is really good. 80 usually with your upgrade. That's pretty good for what you get for a broadside. So that seems.
Yeah, that's gonna change.
Yeah, better.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like 100 each.
Oh, that would be terrible. But broadsides are really good right now. But so are hammerheads. So, well, no, it's not that hammerheads are really good. They just sold a lot of hammerheads because hammerheads used to be really good. So who knows what they're gonna do? Anyway, that's the problem with stealth suits. There are a couple ways you can run them. One is just we have a lot of strength 5 guns. The other cool ways to run stealth suits are with drones, where you use marker lights with them, like a minimum squad of stealth suits and 2 marker light drones. And the way it used to work is you would just stay at 36 inches and shoot 2 marker lights a turn, and it will basically be marker lights your opponents could never get rid of. But now that they changed the way stealth suits work, it's just hard to remove marker lights with 2 Terminator armor saves, with Terminator cover saves. So it got that got a little worse. And then the other cool way to run stealth suits is with a big ass mob of gun drones attached. All 6 of them by a drone controller and by 12 gun drones. Because gun drones have slightly better ballistic skill since they're twin linked than the stealth suits. And you're also paying 10 points per strength 5 shot. And they also get the benefits of the stealth field generator. So it's a good way to just it's not points efficient. It's just the exact same points cost as the stealth team's extra models, but it's just a way to put a fucking ton of shots in one unit, so it gets really strong with marker.
And you could also pin with them too.
Pinning is actually becoming more relevant, especially with the way they reduced chaos leadership and made you pay to turn it into leadership 9 stuff. So pinning actually will probably become more relevant as time goes on. So next we have Fire Warriors. Fire Warriors used to have the mantra of you buy 6 of us because you have to, hide us behind a building, and we score. The end. But now Fire Warriors got a really huge buff with
How rapid fire works?
with how rapid fire works. 15-inch shooting is great. 30-inch move and shoot is awesome. Never ever buy pulse carbines because pulse rifles are way better in every situation, except for when you need to get lucky. Fire Warriors can buy grenades. Photon grenades are defensive grenades, which means you should never buy them because you want, as a Tau player, you always want your units to die the turn they're hit in combat, so then you can turn around and kill whatever is now left in the open.
Yeah.
So making it easier for your opponent to not kill enough for you to pass a leadership test and then lose the next turn is actually counterproductive. Like, if I had photon grenades, I'd almost want them to give me points.
Yeah.
And then EMP grenades are really cool in 6th edition because it's so much easier to hit tanks with grenades. They're sort of like Dark Eldar Haywire grenades, except they glance on a 3 or a 4 and they punch on a 5 or a 6.
That's pretty good.
But they're 3 points each on a unit that should never be anywhere near an opponent's model. So you can do some funny joke things. I mean, I've definitely messed around with Suicide Fire Warrior squads with EMP grenades in Apocalypse. You just run up and you stick those on that Baneblade. He will not like it.
No.
But other than that, those are Fire Warriors. Fire Warriors can buy a Devilfish. Honestly, I think that Tau can't afford Devilfish at this point. I mean, I'll talk about the tanks right now. Tau tanks have... Tau tanks sort of work like this. They have one really good upgrade. the disruption pod, which basically gives you shrouding if you moved last turn. It gives you shrouding if your opponent's more than 12 inches away. So if you move with the Tau tank and your opponent's shooting at you from more than 12 inches away, you get 3+ cover save, which is ridiculous. At the same time, the Devilfish, which is a 12, 11, 10 tank with ballistic skill 3, that comes with a 3-shot, strength 5, 18-inch gun and 2 drones. So it doesn't have that much firepower and it's very short range, is 80 points.
Too expensive.
Okay, so like for reference, a Guard Chimera comes with a multi-laser and a heavy bolter and has front armor 12 and has firing points.
Smoke
and
launchers.
smoke launchers, but it's only 55 points. So
You're forgetting the most important rule.
Amphibious.
They could drive over water.
shit. Well, the Devilfish can do that too. It just can't end in the water.
We
Oh.
can.
Yeah, they could drive
We
it.
can try. All right.
Yep.
So the basic way the Tau tanks work is this: you're gonna pay a ton of points, and they're never gonna die, and they're never gonna kill enough shit to make those ton of points worth it. That's just how I view most Tau tanks.
Use them for tank shocking.
You could use them to tank shock, yes.
So when you fight another Tau army, you scare them off the board.
But if you're within range to tank shock, you lose your 2+ to the cover save.
I don't care.
Anyway,
You just scared a whole unit off the board for fun.
Death or
Uh,
glory. Death
the
or glory.
Devilfish has some options. Like you can replace the gun drones with smart missiles for 20 points. Never do this because the tank is already too expensive, and now you're paying points to remove the best part about the tank, which is the free throwaway unit it gives you. So yeah, a lot of people used to run Devilfish as sort of the Warfish setup back in 4th edition, where they would buy a ballistic skill increase for it, and then add the missiles, so it would be 7 BS4 strength 5 shots a turn. But that's like 120 points. That's like more than a Predator. So it's not worth it at all.
Yeah. I think a Daka Pred for me cost me like what?
95.
95 points?
85. It's
Yeah.
95 for chaos.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
super cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For like autocannon, heavy bolter.
The last group choice the Tau have are the Kroot Carnivores. I really love the Kroot. But the Kroot will generally be... The point of the Kroot is to be super cheap, stand in front of your army, and die for you. They're very good at it. They have Infiltrate. They can buy Kroot Hounds, so they pretend they're better in combat. And
they are
come with
Operation
bolters.
Meat Shield.
Yeah, and they have and they can outflank to try and outflank and bolter down like a unit of Longfangs or something.
Okay.
So the reason I like Kroot is they're super modular. You can use them for a bunch of different things for different armies. Against shooting armies, you outflank with them and get some close range double tap in.
Mm-hmm.
Against charge armies, you leave them in front of your army and use them to absorb the first turn of combat. They have no armor. Their leadership is shit. They're gonna die and run away. So they're perfect for that. But the thing with the Kroot is 6th edition. 6th edition hasn't been bad to the Kroot, but with the ability to bring allies will generally fulfill the role that Kroot did. You bring orcs, they stand in front of your army. You bring Thunderhammer Stormshield Terminators, your opponent has something really scary to deal with instead of walking towards you. You bring a bunch of Chaos Marines, there's Chaos Marines in front of your army now. So the Kroot didn't get worse.
Tau's
The Tau
options
just
better.
got better options to fill the Kroot role.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
get worse. They just still suck.
No, Kroot were awesome. Shut up. They're the best unit in the game. Except
If you didn't know this about George, George is in love with the Kroot.
the best unit in the Codex.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you had some time with Anchi in the back.
No, I had time with Angor Proc in the back.
The Tau only have one woman.
Yeah, but Angor Proc is the Kroot special character, and you can't tell if those are guys or chicks.
That is true.
I think aren't
They're
crew
kinda-
grown like orcs?
No.
Oh fuck.
There are
I don't
male
wanna-
and
I don't
female
wanna
Kroot.
know.
We just can't tell them apart.
Yeah.
Asexual.
Anyway,
They're like
Kroot are badass.
dwarves.
If you don't want to
The
take, yeah, if you don't want to take allies, the Kroot are 100% amazing at standing in cover, getting shot at, going to ground, shooting bolters at people, dying, outflanking, infiltrating, and generally being a huge, obnoxious nuisance to your opponent. And the number one thing to remember with the Kroot is they're gonna die. But if your opponent shot at them charged them, tank shocked them. That means your opponent paid attention to them, which means they didn't pay attention to something more important, which means the crew fulfilled their duty.
I actually think they're a big part of the plan because they score.
And their troop choice. And they score, which is huge.
Yeah, so if your opponent kills them, that's good.
Yeah. But Fire Warriors, since they got so much better, I've been messing around with lists where I just take 30 Fire Warriors. 30, 36, just a bunch of Fire Warriors. And the concept behind the Fire Warriors is they stay as far in the back as they can. If your opponent has ways to kill them easily, like Ordnance or Torrent Flamers, you have to reserve them. But they add a lot of extra firepower to the army, long and short range, and they do score. So it's not the perfect unit, but they're solid. So, give them a shot, try them out. With Fire Warriors, if you want to run a bunch of Fire Warriors, you have to run a lot of Marker Lights. Because Fire Warriors get exponentially better with Marker Lights.
Yeah.
It turns 2 Marker Light hits will turn 3 Marine Wounds a turn, or 4 Marine Wounds a turn at 30 inches into 6 or 7. So,
That goes from 1 Marine to 2 Marines dead.
yeah. But if you're in double tap range, it goes to if you're in double tap range,
On average.
it kills they kill like 5 Marines.
Yeah.
So, the Fire Warriors need Marker Lights. Fast attack, gun drone squadrons. You could buy this. But why? They're more expensive than regular gun drones. They offer no particular advantage over more Fire Warriors other than being jetpacks.
And they aren't scoring.
And they're not scoring. So you could take gun drones. A fun strategy used to be taking some small gun drone squadrons and deep striking them behind your opponent's tanks to try and kill them with back armor shots. But now with hull point, your glancing hits that you're going to get from your gun drones aren't really going to shut down the tanks. So it's not usually worth it. Pathfinders, if you're running with just Codex Tau, Pathfinders are amazing. And you have to take them because they're the best way to get Marker Lights. Pathfinders have to come with the Devilfish. So basically, here's a Pathfinder. It's 12. You're paying 12 points for a Fire Warrior that has a Marker Light. He's got a gun. Never shoot it, because the job of a Pathfinder is to make sure everyone else kills better. Pathfinders have some options to get sniper rifles and stuff. Don't ever take those, because you don't want to split your unit's effectiveness. You want it to just be, I point at that unit that I have to kill, I put a bunch of Marker Lights on it, and then everything else murders it. You want to have as many dice as possible to mitigate the randomness of the Marker Light roll, because the Marker Light hits will reduce the randomness of the rest of your army's shooting by making it BS5. Yes?
I'm just making an observation.
Okay.
3 out of the 4 podcast members are very bored by this section. He looks like he wants to fall asleep. This guy's not paying
You
attention.
guys could ask questions.
Like what?
I don't know.
Tau?
When do we get to the broadsides?
Okay, broadsides. They're
Yeah.
fucking shooty, laser blasty. You kill everything by at least 5. I don't care what your point level is. 400 points, 5 broadsides. Sounds good. Done.
The reason why I'm laughing so much is because I remembered we're on webcam. So the people watching would be looking at me like, there's only one guy who's paying attention. The other 3 are kind of like falling asleep. So it looked funny on the
You
webcam.
guys are terrible interviewers. Come on. Ask stupid questions.
I tried for like the first half, but then
Yeah.
But then we ran out of stupid questions.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I think this is a good place to call our Tau
Tau.
thing for a while.
At
Let
least
me
bring,
do something.
at least bring up Tetris.
Okay, so let's bring up just
Tetris?
the Forge. There are 2 things that are important
Okay.
for Tau.
What's
The
a
Forge
Tetra?
Edition.
What's a
It's
Tetra?
the Forge World.
I don't think
The
I've ever seen a
Tetra
Tetra.
it's awesome.
It's 10,
It's
10,
the best
10,
thing Tau ever made.
Yeah, it's a 10, 10, 10, 50 point BS3. You're going to make it BS5 for 60 points. Or BS4 for 60 points. It shoots 4 Marker Lights a turn. It's a fast vehicle. It has Scout. You keep them in the back and you just shit Marker Lights at people. If you're playing with Forge World, you use these instead of Pathfinders because they hit better and they're more survivable.
And they're cheaper.
Are they cheaper?
Yes, they're cheaper.
Hell yeah, they're cheaper.
They're fucking...
They're cheaper than the transport you have to buy them.
Yeah. And then the other Forge World thing is the Tau sensor towers, which a lot of players in the league have been using well. and I haven't used these myself, but they seem pretty strong. They let your guys, I guess they give acute senses, or they give night vision to a unit. They let one unit around them gain twin link for the turn, and they have a twin link marker light. So
Oh, nice.
they're really cheap. They're like 40 points each or something. So those are just cool to put down with your blob of fire warriors and the gun line and go. And let me talk about one more unit. Okay. So for fast attacks, we've been over Pathfinders, and then there's Piranhas. Piranhas are okay. You use them to block, basically, because 60 points for a melted gun is not that great. Those are the only things in fast attack. If you say there's anything else in fast attack that's like a bug person, you're fucking wrong.
Oh, Vespids.
George, what about this thing called a Vespid?
I don't think that exists, Kyle. You must be listening to Imperial propaganda.
What's a Vespid?
What is a Vespid?
All right.
We'll find out in the next codex.
All right, yeah,
We-
yeah.
we'll
They'll
basically call
probably
it-
put them in
we'll
there.
Next
basically
codex,
call
they're
it-
gonna be the
This is
shit.
just a hint.
Yeah, they're gonna be fucking awesome next.
Yeah, they're gonna
codex.
be in. Yeah,
If they get a new bug race next codex, I bet it's gonna be really cool.
it's gonna be called a Vespid.
Yeah, just like the car.
Now,
Yeah.
there has been a very small rumor that they are going to come out with Codex Allies,
Yeah, that's a rumor I've actually heard
I
multiple times.
where it's going to be
Well,
all these
it's
small
gonna be-
faction races that
yeah,
you can take
it's
as an
gonna-
ally.
It's like those, like the original like Warhammer Fantasy Dogs of War
Dogs of
codex.
Storms of Chaos, Dogs of War, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where the Tau Codex re-release would come with less of a focus on
Kazlov, stuff
allies or something.
Squats will
So
come
you
back.
would have-
Like that. Yeah, squats.
Squats.
Ratlings
Demiurge,
might be their own
Demiurge.
thing.
Yeah, and there'd be an allies codex. I would love that because that means I could put Kroot in every army.
Dark
and the
Angels
Kroot
can
would
take the
probably be
Watchers.
even better.
The orangutan that came with Grey Knights might get their own thing.
Oh, Monkey Town.
Yeah,
The
The
Jakaro.
fucking
Jakaro.
monkeys.
Dick Heroes.
You know, people did a lot of bitching about those monkeys, but I never see them these days.
They were, and I think it was like a lot of just like craziness just from the get go. We're like, oh my god, these guys are broken, but never ever. No, I've never seen an army used.
I've never even
You know,
seen a
dude,
monkey.
I wasn't playing when Grey Knights came out. What do they do?
They shoot
They're
las
they're
cannons.
obliterators
Yeah,
for
they're
like 30
obliterators.
points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like different type of obliterator. You can get a bunch of them.
You stick
for
them
cheap.
in chimeras and you
'Cause
shoot
they're
them.
like
They're all troop choices because they're henchmen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because
if you take,
don't- well, you don't
you're-
buy henchmen without Kotias.
Yeah. Kotias
No,
makes
they're
them.
they're a part of the henchmen
Yeah.
Right.
Kotias
But
Kotias makes them
henchmen troops.
makes
or any
troops.
other inquisitor for 25
those
points.
are their elites for other inquisitors.
No, they have 3 HQs that are inquisitors.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
right.
but they aren't.
But
Kotias is the only one that
Kotias
can
is the
make
only one that makes
henchmen
them into
troops.
troop choices. They're an elite
You're
choice that
right.
doesn't take a force org slot.
Yeah. So yeah, but anyways, still Monkey Town.
Yep.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey Town. So
It disgraces me that monkeys are more proficient at shooting giant lasers than 90% of the Tau army.
it's because they're blue.
Yeah.
Now, monkeys are orange.
Yeah,
Hey.
they're
yeah,
orange.
that's the difference.
It's been those 40,000 years of people saying that a monkey can do something better than you, and they finally got it right.
Yeah. Bad monkey,
They
go away.
found a monkey.
Put- yeah.
proves the point.
Put enough monkeys in a room with a typewriter, and they'll be able to shoot las cannons really well.
Yeah. One of them, it's that one monkey that they're like, hey, that monkey knows how to typewrite. We should breed that one. And they keep doing it over and over and over again. And then all of a sudden, now you got monkeys that can shoot las cannons.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Planet of the Apes did.
Yep.
And then the humans took over again.
No, but what really happened is they found out that Strength 5 Stormbolters are a lot better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People, players, that is.
And lighting people on fire is cool too.
Yes, that is.
Lighting people on fire, 2-up armor is a
and
lot
never
better.
dying, yeah.
Yeah.
And devolving your game down into
Point and click.
how many? No, not point and click. Just how good am I at rolling 2+?
Yeah.
All right.
Most
Alright.
most Grey
Well,
Knight
if- I
players
mean-
have 2 modes when they're building an army. It's called copy and paste. That's what happens.
And then their tactics are point and click.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate Grey Knights. I
Yeah,
do.
actually, the only Grey Knight player I actually respect is Nilbert.
Yeah.
Nilbeezy is the only one.
Yeah, because
Really?
he actually throws variants into build links.
He doesn't have any unit that's a copy of anything else.
He usually only takes like one of a unit to try to like ease it up.
That guy won every game except for his finals in the playoffs.
He is one
Wow.
of the few players I actually knew that took interceptors and still could win.
Interceptors are awesome.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know why
nobody
one
ever
takes them.
nobody ever takes him.
They're
But
so
he'll
fucking
take
fast.
he'll take a squad of interceptors.
They're like, okay, interceptors are like what stealth suits wish they could be.
Yeah.
They
Well, the difference is the interceptors have ninja swords. That's the difference.
now the big difference is that interceptors go 30 inches whenever the fuck they want.
Yeah, that is true too.
Yeah, once a game.
Yeah.
That's still pretty good.
Once a game, they can just
Fuck you.
go somewhere.
Well, think about it this way. Well, like stealth suits, they get like what, only stealth, right?
they get stealth and
Shrouding.
shrouding.
Oh, they get stealth and shrouding now.
Right, but you have to. That means you have to play dangerous terrain games, jumping in and out of train,
Ugh.
and because your gun is only 18 inches, so you have to
Yeah.
move up to get your shots. But interceptors have 24,
Yeah.
Yep.
and they also have strength 5 guns.
Well, they might beef up stealth suits later on.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they might make
Honestly,
it
they
extra
don't-
stealthy.
They don't really need to beef them up. They just need to make them 20 or 25 points. 20, I think, would be a good number. 25 actually. Is,
19.
Mhm.
They're gonna make him something
yeah, something
stupid.
stupid like 19.
19.
And then move them to fast and make it so the fusion blaster chick, Shadow
It's a chick?
Sun, Shadow Sun changes them to troop choices,
Yeah.
and that way they'd be a really rad troop choice.
Yeah.
Trying to dig off a bunch of those things off objectives is
Yeah.
a pain in the ass.
I don't
Yeah.
want to see that woman's vag. Disgusting.
Well, it's on her forehead.
What?
But
All right. So, moving on. What was our next topic? Because I honestly don't
League?
remember.
we got some league games.
Okay, so league games. I'll let you guys discuss your league games because I'll save mine for last. Because I wasn't able to play last Wednesday. Had to stay at work for a little bit, and then it was already too late for me to.
Well, hold on. Go to that.
George, I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, I
Which one?
missed one of my league games because tests.
One more.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
have a life with school and things that happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if only I could play Warhammer all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
First alien begins their turn.
I did get a game in against Junior, Grey Knights player,
Mm-hmm.
and his list was pretty terrifying. He had 3 Dread Knights.
Point, click, click.
Yeah, it was
Copy,
very,
paste.
It was very point click copy paste. He had
Copy,
3
paste,
Dread
copy,
Knights, 2 with the jump thing, and 1 that deep struck. And he had 2 10-man Terminator squads and Drygo. The end.
Yep.
Yep. And
Sounds about right.
I mean, I had my Dark Eldar with a ton of shooting and all that stuff, but the game and basically it was a really bloody game, but a lot of my Dark Lances died in the earlier turns of the game, and
How did that happen when you have double the range?
I don't have double their range. Oh, I was reducing them to 18 because he had shunt on his because he would teleport up. He teleports up turn 1 and he shoots giant flamethrowers at me that I don't get cover saves from.
Oh.
Yeah,
Bummer.
it sucks. But yeah, the game went all right, but it was really going in my favor for the first 2 or 3 turns. But then around turn 4, Junior stopped being average about his Terminator armor save fails. So the game really went downhill when, say, 25 wounds on Drago yields 1 wound. You know, things like that will cause problems.
You should
Yeah.
totally have used it like 3.5.
So the game ended up with a draw. So the game ended up as a draw, both of us controlling 1 objective. If we ended on 6, it would have been a draw on 5. It was a draw on 6. If we had gone to 7, I might have won. It would have depended on if I could put 2 more wounds on Drago with like 40 poison shots. So who knows at that point. And Junior ended up getting a lot more of the bonus points than me because I was basically playing the game defensively because all the objectives were on my half of the table.
Yeah.
So he had Line Breaker because there's a 2-wound Drago left on my side of the field. And he had First Blood because shunting Incinerator Dread Knights versus Armor 10 Vehicle Army. And he also killed my Warlord because of a challenge rule I did not know.
What
That
was
is that you can only issue or accept challenges if you're within range to strike blows at the start of the combat step.
Yeah,
Uh.
I talked to Doug about that too.
And
You
if
can
I
only
if
fight
I
a
had
challenge
realized
if you're
that,
in combat.
if I had realized that, I probably would have won the game because his Drago split off from his group of Terminators and solo charged my Hellion squad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I challenged with Baron Sarthonyx. I had 14 Hellions watching. So he wounded me 5 times, and then I passed 4 Shadowfield saves, and then got a reroll because I had a bunch of watching guys.
Yeah.
But then we realized that the Baron was on the other side of the squad and wasn't within 2 inches of someone that Drago had charged. So I wasn't able to issue that challenge, and so instead I lost 5 Hellions and ran off the table due to leadership.
They weren't fearless at the time?
No, I had to hold them in reserve because they only had 1 pain token. I had to hold them in reserve because there were Dread Knights with cover ignoring Strength 6 Flamers running around. So, yeah. If I had realized that would have happened, I would have had the Baron up in position to issue the challenge. And then I would have not run away, and I would have hit and run out of there. And that would have been a 300-point unit that would have still been on the table.
Yeah.
And then just tarpet Drago until he died.
No,
Well, with the
I
challenges.
No, I hit and run out of there.
Yeah.
And then I probably would have gone and killed his other Terminators and let Draco keep doing whatever the fuck he wanted in the backfield.
Okay.
But I mean, I could have just hit and run out, turned around, shot Drago, and then charged back in and challenged again.
Yeah. So that Drago never gets to do anything. Just depends on what's around.
But since I didn't know that rule, I lost about 300 points in my army right there, which sucked.
Bummer.
But something cool did happen for me.
What?
Where I killed 2 Terminators because of the trapped rule. Where they were stuck on a corner of the board with Drago and 5 Terminators blocking one way out and a Ravager blocking the other, so there was no way for them to move after they failed their leadership test. So they exploded.
Nice.
So that was neat. But that was my game. Junior ended up coming out of that one with 16 points, and I got 10 after the draw.
All right.
So it was a draw, but he got the better of the extra points.
Yeah.
Well, I've had 2 league games to talk about. This week's was against Jason's Eldar list.
Elfdar.
He was running a lot of infantry, 2 Fire Dragon squads, Scorpions.
Before you go on, did you win that game?
Yes.
Fuck you, Jason Hickle. God damn it.
What?
Letting the guard down. No, he played Eldar. It's
He's
fine.
playing Eldar.
He's playing Eldar.
He's
fine.
playing Eldar.
He's playing
fine.
Eldar.
It's fine.
I beat his guard last time.
Good. Oh, man. Okay, go on. Damn it, Jason.
But so yeah, he was running Striking Scorpions, I think. Or is it Guardians? I don't know the guard.
Did they have guns?
Yeah, they had guns.
And they were probably Dire Avengers.
Oh, okay. Then 2 Hornets, Night Spinner, the 2 Flyers, the ones whatever forgeable ones,
Pain in the ass, Eldar Flyers.
and
Yeah,
then
3 +
2
2
and then
saves.
2 Ranger squads and a squadron of 2 Warwalkers. I ended up having to go first, but I'm running demons, and so he hit everything behind a ruin, but there were some windows in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped a Flamer squad and a Pink Horror squad on the Dire Avengers that had both of his HQs in there, which was the
Farseer?
not a Farseer, and I don't know his Exarch, which was his Warlord. And when the Flamers shot, the only things they could see were like 4 Guardians and the Farseer, so they killed all of them. And then the Pink Horror shot, and they only were able to see like 3 more Farseers, and then his Warlord, his Exarch.
Mm-hmm.
So and the Pink Horrors did 8 wounds. So it got to after all the saves and stuff, it got down to killing all the Guardians, and then 3 wounds on his Exarch. Failed all 3 saves instantly. So both of his HQs died before he got to do anything.
Okay.
And then all my Soul Grinders and stuff basically killed off like half the rest of his units and stuff, except for the vehicles. And Flamers toasted another squad over, and so basically half of his army was gone before he got to make a move. And so it was just a very long and arduous defeat for him, because by turn 3 I had killed all the infantry models except for vehicles, and I still had killed most of those. So for like the last half of the game, it was just 2 Flyers and a single Warwalker, which I couldn't kill. But it went on the turn 7, and I had killed everything except for 1 Flyer. And so it was a brutal massacre. I had 20 points to his 5. He had 5 because I On my first turn, I mishapped a Soul Grinder, which died.
First blood.
He got first blood, and then he also killed all my Soul Grinders, so he got the points for killing heavy support.
Oh, nice.
Then I also killed all of his heavies, plus I got Line Breaker and Warlord slain, so I got max points. The cool game I really want to talk about was the one we had last week, which was against Jeremy's all-flyer list.
Oh.
Demons versus this all-flyer guard list. I didn't really know what to expect. My one plan, though,
Easy
was...
win. I don't see how that army wins games.
So, if for the people that actually listen to this podcast, I don't know who, but there's a player of ours, a friend of ours, that was running this really, really like ridiculous list in our league, and it's 12 Imperial Guard flyers,
varying from Vendettas, Valkyries, and some forgeable ones like the Thunderbolt and
the
stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just there's just a lot of flyers, so there's a lot of maneuvering to try to figure out how these flyers work.
There's like 4 vet squads and 2 command squads, I think, something like that. But I got to go first, and I was hoping to wipe out all of his infantry units before he could get any flyers on to get the no units on the board win. But I got the wrong demon wave in, so all my shooters didn't come in at all. So I just had to deploy all my assault units and just hope that they didn't die when the flyers came in.
Yeah.
And they didn't. I did wipe out all of his infantry on turn 2 when all my shooting units and assault units got to attack. But the big deal was that the Plague Bearers, I had 3 units of 5 that had to show up turn 1. It was a relic game, and the relic was in ruin. So they all deep striked in the ruin, picked up the relic, and they sat there for all 7 turns, holding that one relic. This same model didn't die.
Nice.
It took 7 turns to kill him, and Fate Weaver didn't even help with that. He only helped for 1 turn, and then he died. In terms of the Plague Bearer surviving, but I only killed 1 flyer. So basically, the game went on to turn 7. But I had held the relic for 5 and 6, so if the game had ended before turn 7, I would have won.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't happen. I had killed all of his troop choice, so he couldn't pick up the relic, and he finally killed all of my troops off on turn 7, so I couldn't hold the relic. So it was a tie. We both... I got first blood. I got first blood. We both killed each other's warlords. But, no, he got first blood because I had a deep strike mishap. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty common. Despite the fact that mishaps got easier, I keep dying to them.
Okay.
But yeah, he got first blood. We both killed each other's warlords and then I got line breaker. So it ended up being 11 points for both of us.
Oh.
A perfect tie, but I won in my heart because those Plague Bearers survived 12 flyers for 7 turns.
Wow.
And I had the relic for turn 5 and 6, so I felt I should have won.
Okay.
But that was a really fun game, a really interesting list. So if Jeremy's listening to this, that was awesome. We should do it again.
And then play 40K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play 4K. So, since I'm actually back in the league and I can actually talk about games now, this past week it was week 5, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it because I had work issues and things like that, so I couldn't make it. But I ended up playing a game last week for week 4 against Doug, and he brought his orc list.
I'm very excited.
So that was so he had Gazcall, he had Zogwart, Not Bikers, I think, Death Rolla, Flamer Wagon, 2 looter squads and things like that. And then I brought my list of 2 Destroyer Lords with War Sights and Semper Weave, so they're 2 up. One of them has a Res Orb. I think I have 1 squad of Wraiths, 4 5-man squad of Warriors, and then I have, since we're playing 2,000 points, and we got the 2 Force Org, or the double Force Orgs, I'm taking 3 Doom Sights and 3 Monoliths. So I doubled up on the heavy supports. And game was pretty brutal, came down to the very end, but I ended up winning ahead in the last couple turns because I killed off pretty much all of his troop choices and believe it was the relic. So I was able to snag it and capture it. But highlights of the game were I was actually able to beat Gazcall in close combat via just by like wounds. and he was not fearless at the time.
Oh my gosh.
Caused him to fail, and then I ran him down
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
with my raid squad. So I think that was pretty cool. The true highlight of the game was because so monoliths, how they work is if you hold them in reserve, they have to deep strike, and because they count as a skimmer, if they fall on top of a unit, you have to move them the minimum distance.
They can't end their move.
They
on
can't
top of
end,
enemy
yeah, they
models.
can't end their move on top of enemy models or my models or things like that. So they got to move the minimum distance. They can land in difficult terrain. They can land on impassable as long as they can balance it. So the only way they mishap is if they're off the board or if they can't balance on impassable terrain. That's the only way they mishap. So I was able to pretty much immobilize or wreck the the orc truck that had Zogwart and his squad inside it. So they had to walk out, and then they end up walking out to some terrain. The turn that it comes back to me, I'm able to roll reserves. I roll for my monoliths, and a couple of my monoliths come in. So his squad with Zogwart is kind of like in like some pieces of terrain, but they're all bunched up together. So I decided to deep strike my monolith with the Door of Exile as close to that squad as possible. And I asked Doug, was like, what's Zogwart's strength? And he said 3. So I was like, okay. I placed my monolith like right in front of him, and like if I roll a 6, I get like, well, from the distance, if I roll a 6, I get the entire squad. I rolled for deep strike, I hit, and I rolled to see how far my gun goes off, and I rolled a 6. So it's
Wow.
every guy within 6 inches of the door has to test. And the thing is, you cannot lookout surf for it because you have to roll for each guy separately, and it's a strength test, and you just remove the model, so it's not a wound. So I pretty much killed about 90% of that squad, and then when it came up to Zogwart, he rolled above a 3. So I was just like, whoosh, snipe. I was like, ah, no squig. So that was pretty cool. That was probably one of the coolest highlights I had.
Awesome.
Just being able to snipe Zogwart out and just like not having to worry about it. And then Gaskell was Gaskell. He was killing monoliths by himself, going crazy. But yeah, being able to run him down and then just like pretty much just smashing face. Doom sights were pretty good. But
I gotta pee.
thanks for letting
Thanks
us
for
know.
sharing.
Thanks for sharing. But like, I mean, playing against Doug's list, like, I've had some pretty tough matchups with my Necron list, just because I've been going with the pretty much double heavies on top of heavies. I faced Tau, I faced Dark Eldar. It's just it's very rock and paper and scissors. So when I was able to face Doug's orcs, there's only like 2 things that I was really worried about in that army that could take on my monoliths, and that's where the Gaskell, his Death Rolla on the battle wagon, and then his there's 3 things, and his Warlord on a bike with a power claw. So there's the only really big things that I was really worried about. Everything else I could like kind of mitigate. So if I could take care of those 3 things, then my monoliths would have survived. So I've had a model. I think out of the 3 monoliths that I had, I think 2 survived the entire game. My Doom sights unfortunately didn't, just because I didn't realize how much shots Ludus can freaking dish out against flyers. So
Yeah, orcs are surprisingly good against flyers, just because looters were pretty much a ton of autocannons that were shooting on ballistic skill 2 already.
yeah. So I mean, going down to hitting on 6s isn't that much of a change for them. So getting a couple shots off, I mean, with like 5 guys, if they roll really well, they get 15 shots. If they don't, I mean, they get 5. So, I mean, even then, there's still the potential to hit a flyer at some point. And then that forces me to decide after getting hit if I want to jink or not. So, I don't know. It's pretty crazy, but yeah. That was my game.
Cool.
I'm happy I beat my league record of last week, or last league, because I was 2-2-2 last week. So now I am 3-1-1, with that tie being a win in my heart.
3-1-1.
Yeah.
That means, depending if I can get a makeup game, because right now I am 2-1-1.
We could play each other.
Yeah.
I haven't played Necrons this league.
Yeah. But I have to get a makeup game at some point before then. So
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
if you want to play tomorrow,
Okay.
you're just like, okay.
The challenge has been set. The gauntlet has been thrown down.
Right. It'd be my first game with the new codex.
2 armies enter, 1 army leaves.
I need to find me some allies first. I gotta find me a Chaos Marine squad and a Sorcerer on a bike.
Can Necrons take demons? Because I'll let you take my demons.
Daemons?
Yeah.
Daemons.
I can take Daemons, but I want to try that whole enfeeblement
Oh, yeah. Sorcerer on a bike for enfeeblement.
just for enfeeblement.
Oh, my
If he
goodness.
gets other powers, that's
No,
a plus.
it's funny because Nurgle also has a thing like that, Gift of Contagion, where it
What's
gets
gift of contagion?
it does it's another malefiction on them, but it does
Mhm.
the D3 effect, and one of them is also -1 strength, -1 toughness.
Yeah.
Really?
There's so many variables to get it.
Yeah, on the Nurgle table, it was funny because I had a game where I was trying Nurgle Prince, and I got both enfeeblement and the Gift of Contagion, so I could
wow.
theoretically got done -2 toughness for the
I think
Black
it's
Mace.
page 69,
And
67, somewhere around there.
10 like 6 or 7 also has it as the reference sheet.
There you go. 70.
70.
All right.
Nurgle.
Well, Nurgle is
Green.
71.
Yeah. Gift of Contagion.
Gift of contagion, 3 or 4. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4 spells.
Yeah, 3
Everybody
in the
does.
Primaris.
3 in the primaries.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you take a level 3, you have to take.
The mark means you have to take at least 1 from that god and up to half. You can take up to half of your level from that god.
Up to half. So you can only take.
So at levels 1 and 2, you can only take 1. But
Uh-huh.
if you're level 3, you can take 2 of that god's.
2 of that gods.
But you still have to take at least 1.
Okay. Gift of contagion is the
Malediction.
malediction, and you kind of see which one it is. -1 attack in the shrouded special rule. -1 strength and may not run, or -1 strength -1. That's actually a better one because 2 out of the 3 things, because it's a strength test.
Yeah.
For the portal.
So yeah, for you, it's pretty good.
For me, that's pretty good. I actually might take Nurgle as opposed to just taking a what's it called?
Just a blank Marine to go Biomancy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go
Or
Biomancy.
the telepathy. No, it's Biomancy. Biomancy. Yes.
So I have to take 2 out of here, and then I can take 1 out of the other one, right?
If you're level
You
3,
have to
you
take
have
one.
to take 1, but you can get a second one if you're level 3.
And
Okay.
You could take 1 out of that and then 2 in Biomancy.
Or can I take 2 out of here and 1 out of Biomancy?
If you're
Yeah.
level 3, yeah.
If I'm level 3?
Yeah.
Which I'll probably do anyways. Because then it gives me 2 chances, or a couple chances to try to get the minus strength. Because all I'm doing is looking for minus strength.
Yeah. Plus, then you're Nurgle, and if you're on a bike, you're tough 6.
Yeah, so it makes my Demon Prince, or my Sorcerer last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to try this.
Last longer. That's what it's like.
Yeah. Only with Nurgle, baby.
Yep. Mutations.
Hey,
Your
ladies.
dick grew an elbow. All right. So what's next tournament? Fuck, dude. We're going on what? Almost 2 hours now.
Let me find out. Let's see. We are on 1 hour and 42 minutes.
Yep, time to wrap it up.
Let's go. Wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it
What's
up now.
going on around San Diego?
So San Diego, depending on when this podcast actually gets posted on YouTube or Blogspot or iTunes, Paradise is having their team tournament, which is going to be on the 20th. So depending, it'll be the day of that this pops up or the day after. But we are doing this on Friday, so it is tomorrow for us. It's $10 per person. It's $12.50 per player and $2,500 per side. Normal Force Org and rules apply from the normal rulebook. And yeah. So that's at Paradise. At Ease, I believe they're having fantasy tournament tomorrow, but I believe their next 40K tournament is, when was that, George? At Ease?
November 17th.
Okay, so November 17th. So it's next month. So, I mean, it's still sometimes away. The tournament that I'm actually looking forward to, like we have been saying a while ago, is that our friend Shane, he's holding
Yes.
a 40K tournament, Battle in the Eye of Terror. There's a couple little crazy things that he's adding in there. It's a $15 entry, 2,500 points per side. I believe the turn limits are set at 2:45. So 2 hours and 45 minutes per turn, or for a game.
Yeah, there's also a stipulation he's going to put in there. If any game doesn't go past turn 4, you both lose.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So you gotta play fast.
So, no, you just gotta play normal, but just no slow playing. That fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and if you, what was it? There was another rule that's on the Game Empire site. If you don't finish 4 full game turns, nobody wins.
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Yep,
was
just
what
like
he said.
that.
Yeah. That's what he just said. Awesome.
It feels like the towel section all over again. But the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, so couple of things that is going to be in
Don't
this
slow
tournament.
play.
Don't slow play. Don't be a
Pay
dick.
attention to your opponent. It'll help you play faster.
Yeah. So a couple of things that Shane's going to be tossing in there. He's going to add some themes in there just for the new Chaos Codex. One of the things is when any character, excluding Grey Knights, because they're dicks, kills an enemy character via shooting or close combat, they must immediately roll on the Chaos Boon table and immediately apply the results. And that goes for every single army, which is going to be crazy. Except for Grey Knights, because I don't really think they need any.
I'm gonna
of
be
that.
really mad if my Fate Weaver turns into a spawn.
That'd be awesome.
That
What
be
would happen if
super
your Fate
fun.
Weaver turned into a Demon Prince?
Cat.
Even worse.
Slap in the face.
Slap in the
They'd be
face.
like, why?
Why did you do that?
Thanks, Fate Weaver.
Yeah. But, and that's any character, so that could be Marnius Calgar, that could be freaking Fate Weaver, like we were just talking about.
Abazaba.
Sergeants.
It can be an ethereal.
The Changeling. I think it's gonna be funny if the Changeling turns into a Demon
Yeah.
Prince.
So anything that has a character
'Cause that's
class.
very fitting for the Changeling.
What would really
Applies.
suck is if I had Abazaba charge into a guard squad and kill a sergeant and he turns into a spawn.
Well, he shouldn't have killed that sergeant in the first place. That's his own damn fault.
Well, he has to because he has a challenge.
Yeah.
But the Sergeants probably could refuse.
I'm hoping so.
Abaddon's all going like, refuse it, refuse
What's
it,
gonna be worse
please.
is when you just kill the Sergeant with shooting, so that works as well.
Yeah.
You're like you just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw a bolter at you. Sergeant dies, turns into a spawn. It's like, oh
No.
no.
Okay, and then there's a couple things: Warp Storm, and then the Shrine of Chaos. Shrine of Chaos, look it up in the rulebook. Let's see, and then Warp waits for no one. That was the 4 full game turns that
Yep.
Danny and George were talking about,
Yeah. And Justin.
and me.
Hey,
Missions.
Kyle, did you see that other rule?
What rule, George? Is
I don't
this,
know.
Is this the one about if you don't get past turn 4, you both lose?
What? Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was
Wow, it's
Okay.
quadruple deja.
4
vu.
for 1. All right, missions that are actually going to be in this. There's a lot of detail that Shane actually put into this, so it's pretty much outlining everything that you need to know the day that you come.
Yeah.
The missions are already posted, so you know what you're going to be getting yourself into. Mystery objectives are going to be in use. Nitty-gritty players' responsibilities, rules about Forge World, rules about Force Organization, how the terrain's going to be doing, fortifications, allies, WYSIWYG, scenarios and deployment type, what you're going to do for starting of the game, traits. Like, it just goes into, like, detail. And he also goes into the final part of it, just explaining, like, how the breakdown for overall appearance and sportsmanship is going to work and the type of awards. So I think the awards are going to be Tournament Champion, which is the best overall for everything, best army, best appearance, and best sportsmanship. So take a look. That's on the Game Empire forum. I think for anybody that's not part of the Facebook for the War Boss Alliance, that's something that's down here for our little play group, which is up on there. But yeah, just check it out, GameEmpire.com/forum, and then look on the Warhammer 40K section. It'll be up on there for the tournament. So that was Paradise, At Ease, and Game Empire. That's pretty much all the facilities here.
All right.
Any last comments?
No.
Things?
Thank you for
Okay.
listening to podcast.
Oh yeah, and there's this one other rule that I really like in Shane's tournament.
What is
I'm
that?
just messing with you
Okay.
guys. I still hate Space Marines though.
Yeah, I know. I still hate Grey Knights, but that's just me.
Thank you for listening, especially if you managed to stay for the entire thing.
Yes, if you
yes.
managed to listen through our entire conversation, big props to you guys, because
There's only two kinds of people that listen to this. Ones that forget it's on and ones who are painting.
So thank you.
yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
So thank you, artistically inclined listeners.
Yes, we are glad to be your background noise for I don't know if this is easy listening for you or
What is
what.
this smooth jazz?
Smooth Jazz
We should just-
96.5.
At some
We
point,
should
we should
probably
just start playing that instead.
Let them know when the Tau section starts and stops.
We'll start
I'm
having
just
random
kidding,
segments
George.
of like just random music. We'll start playing Kenny G in the background.
Sick.
But anyways, yeah, just check it out. Just a note, Ravnica's out, so Magic, Crack Addiction.
That's actually how I started playing 40K.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And then,
bought a booster pack of Magic cards.
Yep.
No, my cousin was playing Magic at his house, and I went there and I was like, "What is this?" And he showed me the Dark Shade, and I was like, "That looks pretty cool." And
And that's
Ye-
how you started playing.
yeah, he says when he hits me, I have to discard cards, and I was like, "That
Warhammer
sounds
40K.
pretty cool."
That's
Yeah.
how you started playing 40K.
Yeah.
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 Then we went into the store, and I was like, "These little models look cool.
All right. Okay.
Let's go." Then we stopped playing Magic.
Hmm.
Another thing too, for anybody that's out there that plays video games,
Oops.
do not download XCOM, Enemy Unknown, or FTL, or which is Faster Than Light.
At least don't do it if you don't have time. And
Yeah.
by time, I mean like any time. Like
Yeah,
time.
those-
And
Those
don't
two games-
download porn when you're high.
Okay.
Okay,
now
Danny.
explain why.
Sounds like there's a story
That's it.
behind here.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but for those two games, if you value your time, don't download
Yeah,
those.
remember, guys, the warp waits for no one.
Yep.
Yeah, those are vampire time.
And if you're drinking, don't walk. Please drive your car. No?
No, no.
No, no.
Wrong
No.
message? Okay, I'm
Wrong
sorry.
message. You're going the wrong way, Danny. Okay, we're just gonna end it now. Thanks for listening.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
San Diego.
Bye.